find this word that I was looking for to describe this.
All right. All right. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good. Well, it's evening everywhere pretty much. If you're Neil in Australia, I guess it's good morning. I see people in the chat room. Nolan can't wait to get started. Won't come on the show with us anymore, but he can't wait to get started watching us. So that's fine. That's fine, Nolan. Whatever. Yeah, it's cool. We're cool. Anyway, glad you're here. I did not come up with a clever title for tonight's show because, frankly, I just I just didn't have it on my in my mind. But we're glad you're here. We're glad you're watching American Hammers TV, part of the American Hammers Network. Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock London time. We're glad you're with us. We're going to talk about Palace. We're going to talk about transfers. We might talk about Dave Chappelle since that's what we were talking about. Right before we started, we were talking about Dave Chappelle. So we might get into Dave Chappelle unless James comes on and tells
We
us.
wouldn't be done till midnight.
No, we talked about Dave. That's Dave Chappelle's like a whole different thing. Yeah. Unless James comes on and tells us to stay on topic and starts yelling at us, which he's supposed
We
to do
need
in a little
him
bit. So,
for civility.
yeah, if James doesn't come on, I don't know what's going to happen. He's the only one who keeps everybody in line. So, if you would, hey, Wally, it's good to see Wally the King from down in the Philadelphia area there. And Lawrence, it's right here. We're on. Sorry we're a little bit late, but anyway, we're here. It is, what do I always say? Yeah, if you want to help us out, keep the show going, ahtv.threadless.com. That's our shop now. You get all kinds of cool stuff in the shop. American Hammers TV stuff from your local supporters clubs. Hey, Rob. Stuff from even West Ham stuff. Hey, the boss is here. Look at everybody. Be on good behavior, okay? The boss is here.
I keep saluting everyone that says hi. I'm not doing any weird fidgeting.
It doesn't matter. I fidget all the time. My hands are all over the camera all the time doing this. So if you want to keep htv.threadless.com is a good place to go. I know a bunch of you have reached out to us about being on the network, and I'm really glad about that. We're going to get you on. Okay, we're going to get you either on here or on Katie's show, or I don't know. We got some stuff in the works, so please be patient. We're just getting restarted. You know, we're 3 games into the season. We're just kind of getting restarted, so we'll get everybody an opportunity to be on. James, proper Cockney James is supposed to be on with us a little bit later tonight. Hopefully he'll show up. Usually does. Selly is doing homework. He just messaged me, said he's swamped with school stuff, so we wish him best of luck with that.
The grind never stops.
The grind never stops, and we're proud of Selly for going back to school and working toward that degree after his years in the Air Force. So good job, Selly. And if you're watching or not watching, well, hopefully you're not watching if you're doing homework. But anyway, we shout out to you. What else? Let's see. So who's with me? We're all East Coast. We're all Yanks. We're all East Coast right now.
East Coast, best coast, baby.
East Coast, best coast. There's no doubt about it. East Coast.
I'm a Dodger, man.
Yeah, but you're a Brooklyn Dodger. You're a Brooklyn
yeah.
Dodger. You're not a. Yeah, you're not a. You couldn't.
No mook shit.
You couldn't be more East Coast than Charlie Boy. I mean, come on. Brooklyn. All right. So from down in Maryland, down near. Are you near Baltimore? Right? You're close to Baltimore.
Annapolis. Right? Like an hour and some change.
Oh, okay. Annapolis. That's right. Annapolis. That's right. I forgot about that.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Home of the Naval Academy. Yes, that's right. Beautiful place, Annapolis. Although I have to cheer for Army because I had a cousin who actually played for Army about 20 years ago. He and his sister both went to West Point, and he played for Army. And that's the only reason he got into West Point and stayed in West Point because he wouldn't have made it otherwise. He's a good dude, though.
It's hard to get into West Point, man. Good on him. That's serious business.
It's very hard to get into West Point, and it's very hard to get out of West Point to graduate because it's a hard life that you live for 4 years. Then you got to go into the Army.
And it's still hard to get out.
It's still hard to get out. But he didn't because he broke his ankle playing football. And it affects him to this day. You know, he's like 5 years younger than I am. So he's like in his 40s now. It affects him to this day. But he really wasn't a very good soldier. So when he got through with West Point, the Army kind of said, you know what, don't do your 5 years. Just go. Just be done. And they let him go. So he's been out for a long time. But anyway, I've been to Annapolis. Fantastic city. Beautiful place. And, of course, from Brooklyn, the East London of New York City, it kind of is. It's Charlie Boy. How you doing, Charlie Boy?
I'm doing lovely. I hit my bets this weekend. Yeah, I did all right on the bets. Everton did me good, so I'm happy.
I see Ken here. Ken and Tim were at my house yesterday watching the game. It was good to see them. We do not get together that often because we all have youth sports and stuff like that. Tim has 2 kids, and I have 2 kids, and Ken has a daughter, and we're always doing stuff on weekends. But we got to see each other yesterday, which was really good. And it'll be a while before we get to do it again, but that's okay. We'll do it again. What else was I going to say? I can't remember when we were starting off here. That little tiny dog is barking at me. Oh God, he's got me on the 65-inch TV. That's a bad idea. You got to tone that down. Maybe use a tablet size is about as big as you want to get to my face, and then it's pretty terrifying for everybody involved. Oh yeah, before we start, I want to say a couple of quick things. Charlie Walsh may not be with us for a little while. Look at that. We don't need James. Look at this. Look at this. He's cracking the whip. Charlie Walsh has started a daily wrestling channel, and I wish I could remember. Do you guys remember the name of it is? Because I'm totally willing to plug it. I just don't remember.
A Top Mark.
A Top Mark. That's what it's called. It's called a Thank You. It's called a Top Mark.
Shameless plug, baby.
Listen. This is unpaid, unsolicited. He didn't even ask me to do this, but Charlie's our friend. He's been on with us many, many, many times. So if y'all would look up a Top Mark on YouTube, he's doing all kinds of wrestling stuff. And I'll tell you, he's going to talk about some of the classics too. All right. It's not going to be all this, modern. He's going to talk about the Von Erichs, about Junkyard Dog. Yeah. He's going to talk about the great Kabuki and Gentleman Chris Adams and all the greats of the 80s. So, as well as all your favorites of today. Also, Tim's going to be mad at me for this, but I don't care. Charlie boy, you have a new thing going. What's your new thing? Tell us about it.
It's just me talking a bunch of crazy nonsense into a microphone. That's it.
What's it called?
It's just called me, my name.
Charlie boy.
I couldn't think of a catchy name.
My name's my name.
I couldn't think of a catchy name. That's what we do.
Well, I'll tell you this. As you guys know from having watched him on the show many times, Charlie boy knows his football, and he is not afraid to express how he feels about what's going on with West Ham. So we're talking about a former Brooklyn Italian here, football club member. He's still a Brooklyn Italian by nature, right? But I mean, I'm kind of a member of the Brooklyn Italians football club. So anyway, check out Charlie's channel. And before I forget it, you know what? Thursday nights, 8:00 Eastern. That's what time is that in England? It's 1:00 in the morning, I think. Is that right? Anyway, Thursday nights, 8:00 Eastern. Katie comes on and does her show with a hometown hammer, local hammer. Everybody loves Katie. She's great. We have a good time with her. So check her out too. All right.
Come on, Lee.
Check out Charlie Boy Shelter. I don't want to talk about it, okay? Because yesterday's game, I'm trying to, take a positive.
Well, we got to say what it is. We can't be enabling mothers. You understand? We got to say what it is.
All right. So it made me rethink everything I thought about this West Ham team. Okay. Because to me, this was a team that was resilient. We give up the equalizer. It's fine. We score again. Now we're going to put another one on. Now we're going to win 3 or 4-1. And it didn't happen that way. It didn't work that way. We had defensive breakdowns. We had what I thought were mental breakdowns. We had players who were tired. And it just didn't happen. Now, not a loss. And I promise you the pre-Moyes teams lose that game. I guarantee you a Pellegrini team loses that game 3-2. No doubt about it in my mind. But that doesn't matter because that guy's gone. For a Moyes team, I thought it was a disappointing result. Give me your impressions. Lucas, what'd you think?
The first 15, 20 minutes were just really daft. Just nothing going on. It was looking like to be a really boring game. But then, then the last 25, I really thought that we had our foots on their throats. Well, clearly because we scored and then we were up 1-0 at halftime. And then the second half was just fucking dreadful. I mean, it could not have been a more polar opposite of what we saw in the first half. And still, surprisingly, after the first half, like I said, our foots were on the throat, but like in the final third, we were not looking too good. But like the build up to the final third, we were decent. And it is what it is. After with what happened, to me, feels like a loss. but in the grand
it did
scheme of
too.
things, if you told me 7 out of 9 points in the first 3 games, I'm biting your hand off every time.
Yeah, same here. I just didn't think that the one would come from Palace. I thought it'd come
from the only really discouraging thing about the whole game was conceding right after we scored. That always is just a kick in the nuts.
Inexcusable. Yeah, and very unlike a David Moyes team in my mind. Anyway, Charlie, what'd you think?
I think I'm glad I was busy after the game and I didn't upload anything because you know how I get. You know how I get, Uncle Lee. I was at.
I wish you had actually.
Man, listen. Oh my God, I was. First off, everybody's Dawson. Yeah. Dawson had a terrible game. But let's say right here is what I was getting ready to get into. Our midfield got did in. I don't care what anybody says. No Rice didn't play good. Suchek didn't play good. Now in the game, you have to keep shape. Everything is levels. You understand? Now the game before, he played good. Dawson played good at Leicester. The reason why he played good is because we dictated where they was going to play the ball. We pressed and pounced on everything, and we didn't let them come through the middle how they like to shoot it between the center backs.
And we did not press at all. Yesterday.
And I think a little bit we tried a little bit early, right? But from how hard we played versus Leicester, I think we was out of the petrol, as the boys. We say gas, they say petrol.
Because Palace played absolutely shit. They were so bad.
They are too. They're terrible. They're not.
But wait, we got to give them a little. We got to give them a little credit because Gallagher, he was getting he was running Rice in circles. He was getting in position. He was making moves and grooves and doing his bits. And my brother told me, he said, listen, they didn't have Gallagher the first game versus Chelsea. And the game versus Brentford, he actually did a nice run and he hit the crossbar. He's like, this geezer's going to score today. I'm like, get out of there. He ain't going to score nothing.
I think he's the best player on that squad, honestly.
He really impressed me. Now, one guy was like, oh, he's better than Rice. Calm down, relax. It's two different things, okay? It's like, okay, he's going to be good, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right, yeah. But see, the thing of it is, all right, he spun Dawson, did a spin-a-rooney on him. But we can't let man get in the box like that. You 5 yards away from the goal. That's the danger area. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there screaming. You can't let him get to that level, that side of the field, because then guess what? Then just like Leicester, even last week, it was an ugly ball, but it had a deflection. It bounced back to him. They're in the danger zone. You can't let him get there, man. We did not let Leicester. It wasn't really a beautiful game. I wanted to come on and talk my stuff on Pablo's score and to give it the big one, but I can't. They took the sails off the boat. What is it, the wind from the sails? I messed it up, but you know what I'm saying. What do you want?
Took the wind from the sails.
This idea is the same. Your boat doesn't go anywhere.
Right. And I don't know. Dawson, he played bad, but there was a whole lot of bad to go around.
He was bad, opinion. But again, it was a collective. If I had to pick one or two players that didn't play bad, is probably Antonio and Fornals. But the first half was boring football, but we played decent. And then second half, nobody played well. Absolutely no one besides Antonio.
First half, I thought we had a couple of opportunities we should have capitalized on.
We had all the possession,
and we scored 10 goals through 3 games. I mean, my God. And conceded 5.
The thing is, I'm not panicking, all right, because we have 7 points through the first 3 games. I would have taken that if you'd offered it to me at the beginning of the season. I'd have taken it, and I'm taking 5. It now. Huh?
Giving me 5, I'd still take it.
I probably would have too. I mean, Newcastle was our bogey team last season. Leicester are a top 5 contender every season. And then we struggle with Palace. Let's be honest. We always do. Hi, Nipun. How you doing? We always struggle with Palace, and I hate Palace because there's something just tacky and plastic about that club. Not plastic in terms of glory.
They didn't start singing and doing nothing until they scored.
That's what I'm saying. There's something. It's not plastic like glory hunting plastic because they don't win anything either. But there's a tacky like fakeness to Crystal Palace. You know what they remind me of?
They're just a bunch of trolls.
They remind me of, what they remind me of, Lucas? Well, both of you guys probably, they're like fans of these, like the Carolina Panthers or Jacksonville.
Like what they like to do. They like to sit in the shadows, and then when something relevant pops up that is attached to them, they just go 110% at it.
Exactly. Like these people in the U.S. who are these fans of these boosterish Southern franchises. You know what I mean? Like they have no history, and they have sort of, they have no culture. But as you said, they sort of pop up,
when the time is convenient.
Yeah. But other than that, they have this kind of, their whole supporter culture to me seems fake and choreographed, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of going to, well, to some extent, it reminds me of going to MLS games where they're telling people,
you better get them fired up, Lee. That's a good one. You comparing to MLS. I love it.
Their support. Their support. Because it's like, okay, clap now. Okay, now we're going to play.
I'm gonna let it slide because I don't really care for MLS, but I love gambling MLS. It's fun.
Oh, well, that's different. I mean, that's gambling. Who cares? I mean, gambling is not about going and being part of the atmosphere. Gambling is winning money. You know what I mean? So
it is forced, but from watching a lot, it is starting to get a little better. But I totally understand.
Clint, it's good to see you, my friend. It's really good to see you.
I don't gamble. I don't gamble. I make sporting investments.
Let me tell you something. There is no.
And I make a lot of them.
I diversify my portfolio every weekend.
There is no difference between gambling on sports and playing the stock market. There's no difference at all. It's the same thing.
It's better. You get paid out immediately.
That's what I don't care what people say. People talk about gamblers as if they're degenerates. They talk about investors as if they're kings. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing, right? It's the same thing. You bet on the performance of a team based on past performances and patterns. There's no difference. It's just people's attitudes. All right, James is popping up here, but I haven't let him in yet because his picture hasn't popped up. So we're going to wait for a second to make sure he gets connected. We had an opportunity in the first half, you guys might remember. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but the ball almost sort of floated into the Palace goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of their defenders came at a goal line.
Oh, yeah. Saved it at the last second.
Yeah, really, really well done, actually. But what I noticed was, I think it was Antonio was kind of too close. Hey, James. He was kind of too close to do anything about it. But somebody, and I don't remember who it was, another one of our players was about 5 or 6 feet back. If he takes 3 steps forward, he taps that ball in. And I was like, what are you doing waiting? Because it came out for a big rebound, but we had nobody there to tap it in. I thought missed opportunities in the first half hurt us badly. But I'm going to say this. I've seen people throwing shade at Antonio for this game, and I can't have that. I know he missed the pass at the end. I get that. All right. I know he missed a couple of key passes. He wasn't perfect. He bailed us out. He scored again. I think he assisted on the Fornals goal.
6 goal contributions in 3 games. How can you be mad at that?
No, you can't be mad at it. He was everywhere. I thought he was very good. Not excellent, but very good. At the weak points, as you guys said, as we all said yesterday, Rice and Souček, worst games maybe I've seen them play for West Ham collectively, the two of them together. And when they don't work, it breaks the axle of your.
They had terrible passing as well, and there was 3 passes at a game from 3 different players that I noticed. Fornals had Benrahma coming on the middle. Now he did have 2 guys, closing him down. Yep. He almost got it to Benrahma, but if it's just a little slower, Benny could get to it and blast it. Then the pass, Antonio, in motion where you're going. Yeah, we see it on a big ass screen. Yeah. He's not seeing it how we seeing it. You know what I mean? Through his eyes. If he splits that a little earlier, Benny probably gets on one. And then there was one pass that wasn't made. And it was Yarmolenko when he took that crazy wild shot. Benny was standing at the fucking line by himself. He could have got the ball and took 3 steps, put it on whatever foot. He probably could have did a spin. It's like, what are you doing? What are you bringing him on? I'm getting upset. They bring him on. I'm getting upset. We should have had guys in. I don't care. I'm getting upset. Listen, he's slow. He makes too much money. Yeah, I'm counting his pockets. You want to get mad at me? Go ahead. He makes almost some of the most money on the team. He comes in for 3 minutes, and when he comes in, we're tied up. I'm thinking, oh, God, they're going to blow his tits off. He can't get back. We're going to lose the fucking lead, and then he comes in and does a crazy shot. Benny's standing there on the line, like right dead center, like, what are you doing? You don't see him? You're not looking? Yep. You shouldn't be a winger, man. Get out of here, man. This Yarmo guy.
It is incredible the shit that he does in a yellow kit and not cleared.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's a totally different player. But but again, I'll say this again.
And we can't get rid of him. No, who's gonna pay? Nobody. We're stuck with this smoke.
When Ukraine played England in the Euros, he looked the way he looks in the Premier League. He looked off the pace. He wasn't up for it. When they played England, he wasn't up for it. When they played all the schmucky countries they played before that, he looked great. You know what I mean? All right, James, how you doing?
All good, mate. All good.
All right,
James, I need some gospel today, man.
Are you ready to tell us what you thought about yesterday? We're all kind of. They say, the old expression here in the U.S. it probably comes from the South. Is that no offense? Is that a tie is like kissing your sister? A tie or a draw, is like kissing your sister. I don't know
about that.
Thank God.
I that bad.
Sister, so yeah, I don't have any. To me, kissing your sister is worse than no kissing at all.
Yeah, that definitely that saying definitely comes from the South, lady. So it's not like it did maybe. Yeah,
I'm talking about deep South.
Deep South,
like way down.
Yeah.
Anyway, James, what do you think?
Like Alabama South.
It's a point, and I suppose that's the only best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Yesterday we scored first, and then we conceded straight away again. And then we scored another one, and then we conceded straight away again.
1 minute later, like 2 minutes later, yeah.
From kickoff.
Basically, yeah.
If we would have all sort of said to ourselves at the start of the season, we're going to get 7 from 9. We're going to draw with Palace, beat Newcastle away, and then destroy Leicester at home. I think we would have always gone, you know what, we'll take that. But obviously being in the lead twice and giving it away is not good. The Antonio thing, he played well yesterday, but he can't do it on his own. And that is the problem. And I agree with
I'm with you. Yep.
What Charlie just said. All right, these players should be in the door right now. We shouldn't be waiting to the third game of the season before having these players in. Lingard should already be here. Yep. And I'm seeing this about this other bloke, this Croatian geezer. I'm sorry,
Vlasic?
but not for me.
Vlasic Pickles.
It just makes no sense to me. And I looked at the transfer, and I've sort of had a look because I've been out today, obviously, with the missus and everything. And I just looked at it, and I think, like, why? Why 30 million for this man when we need a striker?
It's a lot of money.
I'm gonna tell you, it might be like a little hustle move, like because we want Lingard, and we might do like a negotiation. I could put this out in the paper that we talking to this dude over here for 25, and then maybe they trying to like, they might go, let's lower the price on Lingard. I mean, I don't know.
You think Sullivan's smart enough to do that?
No, but I mean, I think Karen Brady's a business lady, and she's cutthroat. That's a cutthroat move.
A baron. Well, that is if she's doing that. Anthony, I don't actually know the answer to this question.
I literally cringe when I hear that.
What does that even mean? What is he? What, the master list or what? What is he talking about? Master list.
I'm not sure. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Send us an email, AmericanHammersTV@gmail.com, or go on Twitter. Send us. Let's do this where I can type
or let us know where you're near. We might have it.
Let us know where you're near. We can help you. Okay. Let us know where you're near.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's what he said. He wants to know like a list of where all the pubs or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. That we will know where you are. If
Tim, sort him out. Tim knows. Tim has got a list. Don't he got the whole thing?
He probably does. That's why I'm saying if you shoot us an email or if you send us a message, you're in Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia. Where's that? Hey, Lucas, where is that?
Chesapeake, Virginia. That is.
Is that up near DC?
It's near the water for sure.
Because there's a huge DC Hammers group. And
yes, DC Irons. There's
DC Irons, right? But where do they?
I think that's the closest one. There's a Virginia group that has maybe like 4 or 5 or less people, but DC Irons I think would be closest.
DC Irons is a big group, and they meet. I can't remember where they meet. I'll find it.
I bet it's somewhere in DC.
We're a nice bunch.
I think it's somewhere. Oh, shoot, next to Virginia Beach. Oh, that I don't know. All right, we'll figure something out.
Hey, but shout out to the DC guys. Seen they had a picture of nice Jameson. They don't know how to drink like gentlemen. They ain't drinking that horse piss, baby. Jameson. And they don't pay me to plug it.
DC guys are all.
And we support our bar.
No, I'm talking about the Jameson. Of course, I'm going to plug the DC. I'm talking about plugging Jameson. They're not paying me to say it's the class of my favorite drink, Jameson, all day.
It's a class. It's fantastic Irish whiskey, no doubt about that.
Absolutely lovely. Quit drinking beer and get on Jameson like a real man. All right?
No Hennessy, Jameson.
I like Hennessy too, but Jameson's my friend. That's my guy.
I'm more of a Scotch drinker, but I do like Jameson.
Oh, a little Stewart's, a little Stewart Scotch.
Somebody woke Tim up talking about Tompkins.
So say Tompkins.
But here's what I just want to go back for a second here. Ken and I and Tim and I are sitting watching the game yesterday, and Ken says, it gets in the middle of the second half, and he says he would take off Souček, and I thought, he's right. Souček and Rice,
like I said, he didn't play good.
They were
he didn't play good.
Awful. And listen, of course they're going to start against Southampton. I haven't lost faith in them. All right, they had one bad game. It's going to happen. They were tired.
I wouldn't go awful. I would say uninspiring.
Souček was anonymous, and I thought Rice was borderline bad. I'm going to tell you something right now.
But you know what, though, Lee?
If Mark Noble makes some of those passes, people are all over him.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Lee? Ain't it ironic that you're saying two players who got to the semi-final of the Euros are not performing?
Yes, they're tired.
They're tired.
Yes,
I think how we played versus Leicester was straight pedal to the metal for the whole game. Non-stop press. We dictated. We did not let them get. If they got close, we pounced on everything. We was pressuring them out of this world.
Right.
That's another reason why we need bodies, whether we're going to Europa or not. His style of play is non-stop running.
The thing is with West Ham at the minute is that the gap between the first team and then the next players coming in.
Oh, it's ginormous.
It's a cliff. It's a cliff, James.
Yeah,
North-South pole.
That's just what it is. That's what it is.
Like, if you take Antonio out and you put Yarmolenko in, you got nothing.
The whole game plan changes.
Nothing.
Yeah. If you take
Antonio, you got nothing. Period. Antonio makes the whole thing run.
And the thing is, with like Souček and Rice, because they're so good, the next person in, people are going to say Mark Noble, but for me, the next person is Connor Coventry. For me,
I think Connor Noble.
Yeah, I think
Noble. He brings no pace. Yeah, yeah.
He's younger, fitter, fresher.
It's got it right, exactly.
If Rice couldn't chase Gallagher around, Noble, I love you, Nobes, Nobi-Wan Kenobi, but let's just
you got to give Gallagher credit. He was really good.
Like I said, I think he is the best player on Palace personally.
Yeah, he's on loan from Chelsea. He's not even a Palace player. He's on loan from Chelsea, but but I'll tell you, the second goal, which is the one that frustrated me the most, because we gave it up right after the go-ahead goal. Yes, Dawson got skinned, all right? But Dawson's in a very difficult position there, okay?
Rice was right there, too.
Rice missed the cross coming in. It went right past him. I'm sorry, but it did.
What it is with Dawson, though, Lee, in these first three games, he's made a lot of mistakes.
I'd take him out. Don't get me wrong. I'd take him out.
And
I would have taken him out yesterday.
I think the first goal even, I think Fabianski, if that's Areola, I think he might have half a chance of saving it. I think Fab could have saved that.
I thought Fab on both of those goals was a little bit out of position. I thought the first one he was very out of position. I thought the second one he overcommitted and he was in an awkward. You see him trying to lean back. I mean, the second goal, to be honest with you, was a really good goal. It just was. The first one was not.
I like to think they're not ability errors because he's a bad player, but it's just mental lapses.
Well, the most thing that got me going again was the ball distribution. I think it might have been 60 or somewhere a minute around there. We got a goal kick. He goes to boot it. You could tell he's trying to boot it. He kicks it right to Benteke. I mean, he's trying to boot it 60 yards down the pitch. He kicked. And what are you doing? And we're lucky we didn't get a bad situation out of that. That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week it was where he played the ball to Sufao Almiron on him. This one he's trying to boot it down the field. He kicks it right to the damn strike. Like, come on, what are you doing? What are we doing here?
I think it's time. I mean, you tell me what you guys think. Kurt Zouma should, and he's signed apparently. He's win the shirt. He's
1,000%.
It's a done deal, all right. I've got Zouma in there with. I've got Zouma absolutely replacing Dawson. I mean, what do you think about Ogbonna? I mean, he didn't look at his best. He's getting older.
The problem is, someone put it in the chat, I think, or I've read it today. If Ogbonna gets injured, we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat because
we don't have a lefty.
Yeah,
we don't have a left-footed center. I have to play that side.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna have to put Cresswell there, unfortunately.
The only decent thing about it, if Bonner goes, I think Diop and Zouma could be a good pairing. I really do.
I actually do too. I was going to say the same thing. I do too because they're faster.
It'll be good for Diop too.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good for Diop. Who, remember his first season with us, he was really good. I thought. At least most of it. He was a revelation. Remember, Manchester United were going to come in with £60 million for him, and we were all saying no, keep him. He's a good young player, and then he's regressed since then. I think Zouma, in terms of maturity, they speak the same language. They're French guys. It's like Souček and Tufal.
I love a good mentorship.
Absolutely, it's like Souček and Tufal.
And you think about it. If there's one thing that Diop lacks, is aggression.
Yes.
I think he's got everything else. I think he's
He
got
does.
pace. Maybe he could be a bit better in the air, but I
The
think
French, they lack aggression.
yeah. But
Listen,
I've got to admit,
Historically, that's true.
Hey, listen, international break. Just send them over here. We'll take them through the Brooklyn training. We'll
Yes.
take them through the training. I'll bring them around the guys, and we'll do them up right. You know what I mean? We'll get them nasty and what it's got to be.
I love because I think Dawson. We've seen enough. I think everybody agrees on that. I love the idea of Diop and Zuma. Nothing against Ogbonna, who has been a wonderful player for us and continues to be solid, but I do think he's lost a step. He's getting older. He looks a little bit tired. The problem I have with Diop is he doesn't always know where he's supposed to be on the pitch. He gets lost, and I think Zuma could help him with that.
Because
Zuma could
he's
keep him.
a new breed of, and I'm in the group of a lot of people that don't like this. He's like a part of that new center back breed where like they just kind of like to roam around, play from the back. Like me personally, I fucking hate that. But
yeah, I do too.
I still think he has great amount of potential.
I don't know. I think Diop is an easy target, mate, and I've always said that. He does.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I think he does something.
I don't think he's that bad. I agree. I think Diop.
He ain't that bad.
Everyone has their favorite scapegoat, and just unfortunately, Diop
for a lot
Noble.
Of yeah.
Whenever shit happens,
it's like what it is. He could do 10 things very, very good in the match, but everyone will go back to the one thing he didn't do good. Yep. Like it's just that old.
And
that old
the
scenario.
other thing is, and I've said this many times before. We've talked about this before. When he makes mistakes, he very often is able to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he made a mistake,
which
but
is a huge part,
right? Because he didn't concede. Maybe he gives away a corner. Maybe, but he recovers. We don't concede the goal. You see Dawson make a mistake, he's done. He's done. And Ogbonna has become a little bit the same way. Now, he makes fewer mistakes than Dawson because he's a better player, but Ogbonna is slower now. He doesn't look – somebody said I can't remember who just put it up on the screen 10 seconds ago, but somebody said it doesn't look the same after his injury, and I have to agree with that. He's looked a little slower. It's Rob who said it. I think for pace, and, we could have used some yesterday. I think the Diop-Zuma pairing is fantastic for pace. If you have Zuma kind of directing Diop and saying, all right, stay home. You know what I mean? Here's where you need to be. I think that would help a lot. Because I'm like you, Lucas. I like pillars of granite at the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
like I love and sincerely still wish James Tompkins was at this club. I really do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I thought Tompkins was a great
player.
Okay,
actually, in this very moment, maybe like two years ago, yes.
I mean, I thought we sold him way too early. I know Tim still hates Bilic for selling him. That's an ongoing thing we're always going to talk about. I mean, Jesse, I think hopefully, although we're going to have, Souček. The problem is you get Souček and Rice, who looked knackered yesterday. They have to be on international duty. That's part of I would love for them to get a week and a half, 2 weeks off. That'd be great, but they don't get it. Yarmo, nobody cares, and well, I'm serious.
No, he needs the fitness because he's been riding the pine.
He needs the fitness, but he's not going to be anything but a last 10-minute sub.
I don't claim him in my Slavic hierarchy.
Well, he's Ukrainian. Is that Slavic? I don't even know.
He shouldn't even be here. Like, not being funny.
He shouldn't be here. We should have kept Balbuena and gotten rid of. We got rid of Balbuena and kept Yarmolenko. We should have kept Balbuena, who is totally.
Honestly, any other club, he would have been bought out by now.
Of course he would have.
Yeah, but it's like someone said. It's like someone said earlier on. I think it was. I think Charlie said it. Who's going to pay the money for him? Like, who's going to pay his wages, basically? So that. I honestly think I don't think we can get rid of him because
his hometown club didn't even want to pay £5 million to get him back.
Yeah, but the problem is with that is you ain't going to pay $5 million when his wages are 150k.
Yeah, that's he's paying that a week. You kidding me? I don't even think an MLS team would take him.
No, nobody would take him. No. He's not famous enough to go to MLS. All right.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
MLS wants the names. You know what I mean? Because he's not a name. Nobody knows who he is outside of West Ham. And
things faster than Yarmo, right? Sap falling from trees, sloths, turtles on mass amounts of pain medicine. What else? I mean, cars with no wheels.
And then 40-yard dash time.
And you know what gets me this? It gets me this. But they're like, yeah, but he got that goal versus Chelsea. Listen, my man, if you got to bring up something 3 years ago or 2.5 or however long, if you got to bring up 2.5 years ago when he did something, that's a long way to go back. You feel me? Like, and we're sticking him so far out there on the right. Oh, if he gets in on his left foot, by the time he gets in on his left foot, it's going to be 30 games into the season. How long
the match until everybody's gone home. When they said Yarmolenko came on yesterday, my son,
I was losing my shit. I was ready to just go nuts.
Well, first of all, when I saw him warming up, I just ducked my head.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't blame him.
Well, no,
you can't blame Yarmolenko for coming on.
Of course not. No,
he's gonna sit there. I'd sit there and get that check too. I wouldn't turn that down. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't leaving. Give me that check.
Yeah.
I require him to wear a ski mask every Friday.
That's Hustlenomics 101.
Is that when they do the paying bits? Listen, Yarmo, ski mask. That's how you get your check. I'm not having anything else. It's ridiculous.
Well, when he came on,
absolutely shambolic.
Isaac doesn't watch that much with me, all right, but he was watching yesterday because everybody was here, and he thought the commentator said armadillo. You know, when he came on, he said his name Armadillo. I said he's almost as fast as an armadillo.
Yeah,
and we went through a whole thing like you were doing, Charlie Boy, a whole thing of what's faster than Yarmolenko. Like everything's faster than Yarmolenko. I will say this: the substitutions, and you know, obviously, I'm
sad. It's
a huge supporter of Moyes. It's not his fault we have no bench, okay? It's not his fault. I would have taken off, and I know it's sacrilege, but I would have taken off either Rice or Souček. I really would have. I thought taking off Bowen to put on Lanzini was a curious move, and I thought Lanzini was awful, quite frankly, after he came in. I guess Yarmolenko is the only option we had, but man.
Just the only problem is if you put in Lanzini for one of them, they're not going to drive forward. He's not going to drive forward, but if you put Lanzini on the wing, he's just going to sit there. The problem is with this,
right? Where's Oko Flex? If this is a man that's
playing in the reserves, he played in the reserves today.
And you got he scores that trick the other week. Everyone's raving about him. Yeah. And he still can't get on the bench for West Ham. And it's just when you look at that bench yesterday, I guarantee you, it's like Ben Johnson, Ryan Fredericks, Connor Coventry, Baptiste probably on there. Diop's probably on there. Look how much defensive. Like you've been better off putting Ryan Fredericks on and putting him on the wing. Do you know what I mean? And that's how embarrassing it is at the minute. As I've always said, the starting 11 is very good, but once injuries started, which they will do, that's when we start to get under pressure. Like you've only got to look at this, right? And this is the bestest way of looking at it. Look at Dawson, right? Dawson's been poor. Right? We'll just replace Dawson with Zuma, which is excellent signing.
Should be a massive upgrade, yeah.
If Antonio Fornals or Ben Rama get injured for any reason, we have got no cover whatsoever.
No cover. Yeah. We're absolutely screwed in that case. If Antonio gets injured, which we know his hamstrings are made of jello, if Antonio gets injured, we're in huge, deep trouble.
We're royally fucked.
Deep trouble, because right now we're getting results by scoring goals. Defensively, we're a shambles. All right, 5 goals conceded in the first 3 games is not a good record. You know,
no,
it's not. And so they can't keep a clean sheet. Fabianski looks a little off his best game. We don't know what Ariela's situation is. It's not just the keeper though. Defensively, our back line is a shambles right now. Hopefully, Zuma shores that up, but. Antonio bailed us out again yesterday, which is why I know.
Beautiful goal.
I know he made some errant passes. I know the pass at the end to Benrahma should have been cleaner. But I'm not going to throw shade at Antonio about yesterday.
But bad pass. I mean, almost everybody's going to make one bad pass in a game. You know what I mean?
The problem is
so hard. He carries.
The problem is with Antonio, we need this player to perform every single game because if we don't,
that's what I mean. We're dead without it.
It has to be a lights out. It has to be a lights out performance, or we ain't gonna get. Everybody has to be firing on Leicester. The press has to be phenomenal. We got to be doing our transition bits. Everybody's got to be. We don't have no room for error. We don't. That's
a giant issue with our bench. We have no one that can plug and play into the Moyes philosophy. Absolutely, fucking no one.
No, absolutely not. And Moyes knows that. That's why he doesn't make subs. He hates making substitutions.
Listen, I would have brought. Whoever brought on Fred, I would have brought on Fredericks because attacking wise, he's done more than Yarmo the last. He's been getting crosses in. He even scored a friggin' goal. I mean, and he doesn't do that much bits.
The problem is,
he did more than Yarmo.
Right, Yarmolenko.
He scored versus Chelsea fucking 3 years ago.
The way I look at it, with Yarmolenko, right?
Kill him,
he's in the window. He goes and plays in the Euros. Let's be honest, he has a really good Euros with Ukraine. He scores a few goals and all that.
Played great.
That would have been the best time to sell this man, right? And we can't flog him then.
Yes.
So we can't.
Stuck with him, but he's not. I mean,
he's seen his contract out 100%.
He's not useful. He's just not useful at all. And you're right, Charlie. Yeah, he scored the goal against Chelsea. 2 seasons, whenever that was. A long time ago to keep us out.
And it was a goal on the counter when he was wide. You know what I mean? Everybody was running. He was wide open.
The defender didn't realize he was left-footed and showed him his left foot. Let him take the shot with his left foot. The defender didn't know.
Let's not act like he did Maradona bits and went through everybody. Doing crossovers and whoop-de-woos and spinneroonies and everything.
But you know what though? Who I blame now? I do blame Moyes on that. Because Moyes should have had him out the door, even on loan somewhere.
Yeah.
If you don't want him in the squad, then I understand it. But if he's surplus to requirements there, he should be out, and we should have a loan striker in. If someone said to me right now, you're going to loan Yarmolenko out to Russia or somewhere and go and loan Origi from Liverpool, that's a bit of me. Like he's still here. He shouldn't be here. It's as simple as that.
I agree. There's no. I mean, he's really pretty useless, and I don't think there's any situation.
I don't like that sub. I don't like it. I know the fan police they're gonna try to pull. Excuse me, sir. You just said you didn't like something Moyes did. We're gonna get you a ticket.
No, I didn't like it either, Charlie.
Give me a citation. All right, I didn't like the sub.
I thought
no one's exempt from these hot takes.
Yeah,
these takes are on fire. I thought his substitutions were bad, honestly, and I thought keeping both Declan and Souček on, and I know they're but I thought when they weren't playing well, you got to take at least one of them off and just, give them a break. Give them a break. You know what I mean?
I think the system is a bit of an issue there, like yesterday and all. Because we're
we don't have anybody to replace him. That's the problem. I mean, don't want to get Mark Noble in there.
If you was to drop back to a 4-3-3 system instead of 4-2-3-1 and put Fornals in there with them as like another engine, then you got 3 people who are like box-to-box players like Fornals, Rice, Souček. I don't know how Palace set up this year. I think they set up 4-3-3. I think by the looks of it, from what I was seeing.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have more bodies in midfield to overrun Rice and Souček.
Yep.
So it is an issue, but at the end of the day, right, it all goes back to the old common theme. Right, is we haven't got any squad depth. We've got a lot of players at this club who are still here from the Pellegrini era, i.e. Yarmolenko. And if the transfer window shuts on Tuesday night, and if I don't see any players coming in on Tuesday, we need Lingard in the door. This other geezer, this geezer from CSKA, people say he's a good player. He's this, he's that.
Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see.
He had it. I'm only saying this not because I'm Croatian, but I did watch the Euros.
Yes, you are, Lucas.
There he is.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
The Vlasic. So this was the this Vlasic pickle. Did you guys have these in the UK, James?
More than likely. More than likely.
And he would crunch into the pickle and he would say, "Now that's the best pickle I ever heard." In like a Groucho Marx accent, because you could hear the crunch of it. This is the guy. So when I think of this guy coming from wherever he's coming from, Croatia, whatever, this is who I think of as the stork from the Vlasic pickles.
He had a good Euros in my opinion, and depending on what age you think potential starts, ends, whatever. I think he's 23, 22, 23.
He's 23.
I really think he.
But is he worth 30 million though?
But beware the good Euros. Beware the good Euros.
That's the question.
You guys know this.
What does that translate to pounds? I'm not good with Euros.
It's about
similar.
26 million, something like that. 26, 27 million, something like that.
It's not far off. Pound is worth a little bit more. Yeah.
But the way I look at that is, do we need another playmaker when we've already got Fornals who can go there, Ben Rama can go there.
Striker.
Yeah.
Need a striker.
The only idea I can come up with
back. Another left back we find.
Yeah. I think the only idea I can come up with, if for some reason we were to get both of them, he's got to either be Moyes has either got to be going false nine, or he might think that Vlasic can somehow turn into a striker.
I think Moyes is so set on this rotation system of rotating the front four. So it'd be like Benrahma, Bowen, Lingard, Benrahma, Bowen, Fornals. Like, I think the Lingard thing, if that don't get done, then I'll be stunned. But I think Lingard will come. The other one, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, it really doesn't. We need a striker.
Charlie makes a good point. It could just be a total front.
It could be.
To be like, all right, you don't want to give us Lingard for the price we offered, we'll go. Yeah. But then it doesn't make sense, because then they're like going to like double. What is this guy talking? They're talking 25, 30.
Yeah, it's about 30 million euros, which is about 26 million.
And we just dropped 25 on Zuma. You think we're doing 50, 60 in one window? I don't think so.
And do you know what it'd be? It'd be we tried on that one.
We tried. We got, Edge and FC.
We tried. Moyes didn't want them. Yada, yada, yada.
I don't get it. And this is the thing. I'm going to put it to all you. I don't understand why he's not going for a striker. People say...
That's my only criticism. That's my only criticism.
I feel the same way. I think if he doesn't go for a striker and Antonio goes down, I think we're in a massive amount of trouble.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line between... Because obviously we all like Moyes, and he just doesn't go out and buy players because they're good, whatever, all that bullshit. He's only going to get a player that he really believes in, which I appreciate. I think we all do. But there is a time and place where, like, you literally just need to find something.
See, the thing is, I see in the chat this minute ago, right, and Fo, and I respect Fo, what his opinion. But we're not Man City. We can't go out and be playing false nines. No, not that. Right? Do you know what I mean? Man City have got world-class players to do that.
Right.
It worked in desperation, but it's not gonna.
Like, you can't go and say we can go and do a Man City false nine thing when they've got Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, they've got Gundogan, you know what I mean, Sterling, and all these players, and we can't go and play a false nine. We need a striker, mate, who knows where the goal is. And to me, like, it's common sense.
I think my real prayer to God before I go to sleep today will be Origi on loan. If we can get him on loan, we will be fine. I'll say fine.
Do you know what? What does it with me? This is the one thing that irritates me the most. Is they're prepared to pay 27 million or 30 million euros out for this geezer, and there's a bloke in Prague, in Slavia Prague, Sema, who would do a massive job. Who can play? He can play on the right, and he can play as a central striker. And he's sitting there. He's out of Europe now, so he's going to be in Slavia for the rest of the year. He's not going to pay any European football.
Even though
pay the money, go and get him out of there. Like, it just makes no sense to me.
I'm reading now he may go to Brighton for 10 million euros. I just saw that on Twitter. Don't. I mean, take that for what it's worth. It's just some Twitter. It may be nothing. But if he goes to Brighton for 10 million euros, that's crazy to miss out on him. I agree, it's crazy.
Yeah, and he will score goals there.
Steve McCann play as a striker. He's played numerous games as a striker. He's played on his national team as a striker. What is this? He can't play striker. I don't understand that.
And the other one, Adam Holzik, 18.
I think this answered the question. I think Charlie just answered that question. Holzik, who had a very severe injury, I believe, last season. He's a Sparta.
Another Sparta team. There's like fucking 5. That's like the United of the Czech Republic.
Everybody's called Sparta, like in France.
But like even him for I think the last time I checked on news from him, he was like around 15. But like at the end of the day, we just need sometimes you need to swallow your fucking pride and not contradict yourself, but like you just gotta get a body because it's gonna hurt Antonio.
Yeah, but what it is, I keep saying, Lucas, right? And this is one thing that really, I don't like to swear, but it really fucking annoys me, is when people keep turning around and saying, "Oh, like, well, there's no one out there. There's no one out there."
Yeah, that's like, a fucking lie.
Yeah, and there's people
always
saying,
somebody out there.
We can't go and get these players, or these ain't the Moyes type players. There's millions of footballers.
The worst answer you could possibly get.
Yeah, and there's like basically people are saying, "Oh, we can't go and get them." Well, they're out there. You just got to pay the money. The thing is with that Vlasic one, right? He done well for Croatia, right? He's okay, but is he really what we need? And I just don't see it myself. I don't understand it.
Here's the thing about this, David. I would say respectfully.
If I had to compare him to a player right now in the Premier League, he most likely resembles Emile Smith Rowe. So take that for what it's worth.
Right.
So
and Foles, right. I do say that he wants to press, nick the ball, get in transition. Now, does it have to be?
But he's not a central midfielder. That's the thing.
That's what we're trying to do. He wants to get somebody that could finish. You call him false nine, you call him whatever you want. Moyes, what we want and how Moyes is looking at it is two different situations. He just wants somebody with pace, a little bit of strength. That's when we get in transition, he knows he can finish. And all this stuff that Zeman don't play, he's played at the top. It's his national team. This man played more. He's got bad goals as a striker, as a number 9. So I don't know
this man, that's
people need to
Seema.
Stop looking online and looking at stats and think
Seema played Leicester in the Europa League last year and destroyed them at the King Power. Absolutely destroyed them, right? In the air, on the ground, everything.
Yep.
To me, I just don't get this with this false 9 crap. I really don't. Like, because if Antonio.
Have we, Ray? I don't know about this, Ray. Anyway, go ahead, James.
It could work. It could work. But we're gonna need Lingard.
We've done well in the transfer market.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
In this window,
we've done well. No, Ray, I don't know what. Done well, mate. Like,
Ray, I don't know about that, man. I gotta say, I don't know.
It's 22 years that we've waited to be in the Europa League. Right, and we've signed a lone goalkeeper who sits on the bench and a defender who hasn't played yet. To me, that's not a good window. I'll tell you what will be a good window. Go and get me a striker, a left back, and Jesse Lingard. Then that's a good window in my opinion.
That's a good window. I agree.
And that is just scratching the surface of making us happy.
Right.
That may.
Well, it's. I mean, listen, it's scratching the surface of what we need. I mean, somebody posted, and it just I don't know where it is. I'll never find it again. But somebody posted earlier today, somebody tweeted the minimum number of games
we don't need Seema to hold up the ball, Novelist.
We are a counter-attack team. Okay, there's no. If you just think this is lump it up to the thing and let him hold the ball and everybody's going to come run, it's not how we play. Sort yourself out. Don't say what I watch every week. The man was playing Champions League. I was watching it. What do you mean? I'm a gambler. I watch everything. Don't worry about what I watch.
The problem is here, right? Right. The problem is here. If you take, and I'm asked to chat this, right? I'm talking to the camera. I'm talking to the chat right now. If you take Antonio out, what player takes his place?
Nobody.
And I want someone to tell me that because Bowen is no good in the air. He's good on the ground, but he's no good in the air.
Yep.
If you knock the ball up long to him, he ain't going to hold the ball up, right? Ben Rama is not that type of player, so he ain't going to go there. He's a number 10. He's a floating, attacking midfielder, number 10 type player. Fornals is the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to bung Krzyzek up front, are we? Or something. It's let's get real now. We have no striker at this club.
Everybody said, now these a couple
and Meepo needs to go out on loan now. Fast.
Yeah, Meepo's he's not ready. He needs, A couple of people have said what striker's going to come in and sit on the bench. He's not going to sit on the bench for long. He's going to play in Europa League. And when Antonio does his hamstring, which he will, he's going to be the striker.
When James was talking about what irks him the most, that is what fires me up. It's like last week we were talking about Ben Rama and Lingard. Like, do people not understand? Like, obviously we're not playing in Champions League, but Europa League is no fucking poverty league bullshit. This is a world stage, and if you're telling me that someone's going to get mad playing either a Premier League or Europa League on a regular basis, you're an absolute idiot.
Well, let's look at it like this, lads. Right, and everyone in the chat.
We need somebody on the bench. That's the whole point of this.
I was a bench player.
If we win the Europa League, we're in the Champions League.
Top notch bench too.
You probably will be for a while too, Ray. No offense, but yeah.
It just makes no sense to me. Like, and I just look at it like I don't think we get a striker. I think he's going with what he's got.
No,
I don't think we do either.
He's not going to buy one, and I'm telling you, I'm a big supporter of Moyes, but that's a very big mistake if we don't bring in a striker. It's a very big mistake.
Think when people say about money doesn't grow on trees, I like Ray, right? I respect Ray, right? And I respect his opinion.
Yeah.
Well, technically, money does grow on trees because they press it in the paper and then make it the money.
And our owner is kind of Russian.
But in the grand scheme of things, shouldn't we, as a Europa League team, and not just a Europa League team, a progressing team, be spending 50, 60 million. Like, if it's good enough for everyone else, it's good enough. It should be good enough for us, shouldn't it? Really?
I think it has to be. You know,
and that's pulling fucking teeth for some reason.
Yeah.
Zagreb and Genk and Vienna, Rapid Vienna. I mean, these are big clubs in their countries. Remember Slavia knocking Leicester out of Europa League last season. All right. I mean,
I saw crypto. Now, he's right, Ray. It's a new world.
That's true.
Fair play. Yeah, that's a good one. Nice comeback, Ray. I'm done.
Ray.
You did me
that's
in.
Pretty good, Ray. I got to say that's pretty good.
Can't let me win on the show, Ray. Come on, let me have
NFTs,
my points. Let me get all the jokes in. That's a good one.
But I mean, you got to figure.
Fucking
Rapid Vienna. All these, they're going to be what? I mean, what would you say, quality-wise, mid-table Premier League quality clubs? They're going to have some players.
Zagreb are a decent outfit. They beat Spurs last year, hammered them at home, and they're no mugs.
Slavia Prague knocked Leicester out of the Europa League last season.
Yeah, Genk. I think we can. I think we can.
Yeah, I agree. They're a decent.
I think the group actually is manageable. To be honest, I know Zagreb have some talent,
but is it manageable, Lee?
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Lee, is that group manageable with the current squad that we've got right now?
No.
Can we do
if they stay healthy?
Yeah,
but not if they don't stay healthy, and if they
in a perfect world, yes,
right. If they stay healthy and they can play 50+ matches over the course of a season, then yes. But I don't think one of those things is going to happen.
Because I don't even want to see the whole 11 against Man United in the Cup.
I don't.
Right.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. League Cup, maybe the trophy we're most likely or we're most able to win, but I don't care about it. I don't want it. We're in Europa League. Play the kids, and if we lose,
we're going to send a striker, an attacking midfielder.
Let Baptiste go out there and take Ronaldo's ankles out or something. You know what I mean? I don't care about the League Cup. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm sorry. It sounds arrogant, but it's not arrogance. It's just with this squad, we can't fight on every front. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
It is weak.
So the big question is, right, who do we sign after Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Because who do you see coming here?
I have no idea.
I would say give us a circumstance. Like we signed 2 or 3 players. Who do you think they are? Because obviously we could.
I think Lingard will come.
Yeah, I would say I'm about 80% sure. I think he's going to come.
Well, Lucas, before we started, you were telling me about Lingard. What were you saying about that you heard about Lingard?
So I haven't been following this guy for a while. James knows who he is. Daya. You know Daya.
It's Uncle Daya. Yeah, that's our guy.
Did you watch his today's banter today?
I haven't been there. I haven't watched it today. No, but I know Daya. I know Daya personally. He's all right.
Yeah,
I realize this, Fo. I know. I get it. Anyway, go ahead.
So he was talking today that basically, like that whole rumor about Lingard and Moyes meeting up today or whatever after a Wolves game. They can't. First off, that can't happen. That's literally it's not allowed. But from what he was saying, Lingard is represented by his family or his whatever lawyer, agent, whatever, but it's represented by his family, and that there's going to be. I found the word that he used, and he stressed it: amicable talks. That on Monday and Tuesday, like, listen, we're going to get this done, and we're not leaving without Lingard.
Yeah,
and it came out that it was positive. It's gonna be hardball, but it's not gonna be pulling teeth and all that.
I think with Ronaldo going there, it's opened the door massively up for him to leave. Right, I can't see him sitting there for another 12 months. I really can't. Now, the only way it doesn't happen is there's 2 ways. If Man United sit there and ask for ridiculous money and we're not going to do it, then I can understand it. If our ball don't step up and go, you know what, just get this man through the door, because when he plays, we look a completely different outfit. So it's going to be one of them. Daya, he's very rarely wrong. People knock him. Charlie Boy's been on there.
I was saying this to my group chat today.
Tell me who this guy
United
is again.
And all that.
Tell me who this guy is again. What's his name?
Daya. He's on YouTube. Charlie Boy's knows who he is.
How do you spell it?
D-A-Y-A. Yeah.
D-A-Y-A. Okay.
Today's banter
He's
is.
getting a plug. He probably doesn't need a plug from us, but he's getting the plug from us anyway.
But
he used to be an actual agent, so it's not just like some guy down from the pub say, "Oh, my that show got this."
James, talk to him about what the show is not.
What do you mean? What it's not?
Oh, he always says it's not in the no show.
Oh, he's not in no show. Yes, yeah. No, what it is, he asked me to go in there because I'm pretty vocal in how I come across. But now, listen, Dayo's sound, in my opinion, he's called the Messi thing. He called the Neymar thing. What was going to happen? Another geezer did. Yeah. He said that Lingard is going to 100% happen. And I do believe him, mate. And to me, it's a no-brainer with Lingard, but I've always called it myself. I turned around and said that Lingard will go to the last day, and I do believe it will do.
It's ridiculous that it's taken this long. What is the holdup? He wants.
It's gotta be the price, and
it has to be
to a certain extent. I understand, but we can round table this question real quick. Like, what do you think is fair and too much for Lingard? Like, me personally, I think, bias aside, and what he did for us, £20 million is absolutely fair for both sides.
That's what.
And I mean this with all my heart. If Man United asked for 25, I'd tell them to shove it.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, Lucas.
I agree.
I've said that for months, and I feel exactly the same way.
Sometimes you got to make a statement with what you don't. Sometimes you just got to do shit you don't want to do.
I think 20 million is in the ballpark, but I think what it is with West Ham, I think they're trying to get him down to 15. I think they're trying to say, what,
which we would love, but that's just not realistic to me personally.
I think if no one comes in with, I've always said this. I've said it on Jake's one, who I go on. I've said it on Daya's one. I've said it on loads of other different channels. I said West Ham are going to wait right to the last minute. They're going to hang about. They're going to wait and see if anyone puts any bids in, and then West Ham are going to go in there and say, "Well, we got this 15 million here, all right? Yeah. Look, all right, I'm right." And then they're going to go. Man United are either going to say yay or nay. Yeah. To me, I agree with what Lee was saying. This man should have been in the door on the first game of the season. It's now 3 weeks now, is it? 3 weeks now.
We're off to a good start. I'm not unhappy with the start for 7 points, but I'm telling you, Lingard.
Chef, I'm laughing at the comments. Chef on the piss in there. He's taking the piss. Straight swap for Rice.
Yeah, come on, get out of here. Get out. You're banned. You're banned from the comments.
Nah, he's taking.
I wouldn't put it past him though.
No, it won't. Right. The way I look at it is,
Lingard's in the team yesterday, we win that game. I really believe.
Yeah.
I think if Lingard's in the team, we win that. We have 9 points.
Lingard's been trained. Right, what it is, a lot of West Ham fans are going, "Oh, we don't want Lingard back because Ben Rama's performing." Last year, they wanted him out the door. Ben Rama, they said he weren't good enough.
I think there's room for.
It just doesn't make sense.
You cannot be a West Ham fan and say our squad is too thin, and then say, "But I don't want two players who play the same position." That's what a big squad is.
I've always said,
what a big squad does.
I've always said, I said it on this show last year to you lads. I said in the summer we need 5 players. I said a goalkeeper, a centre half, a left back, a midfielder, and a striker. At the minute, he's got 2 of them, which I've called. Right, we desperately need a left back at this club, and for some strange reason, I don't know what they're seeing, but we are relying on a 31-year-old or 30-year-old Cresswell who can get injured, right?
I know.
And we've only technically got one left back at the club because the other left back can't defend.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And
it just doesn't make no sense in my opinion.
The other thing, James, is remember Cresswell. When Moyes came in and paired him with Masuaku last season, Cresswell had a revival of his career. The season before that, he was awful. We all knew it. It was a liability. And I love Cresswell. And I hate to say
but something you said, though, Lee, something you said when we was on this show 2 weeks ago, and you was bang on the money, and I agree with you when me and Affers were going at it with Cresswell. When he goes to a free, he's very good. He's good on that left-hand side because what it is, he's got that wing back who, if the winger gets past the wing back, Cresswell's there. So he hasn't got to move. He hasn't got to spread out. He ain't going to get exposed. And as I say, mate, in a 4, He's slow,
Struggle.
and he's just a different player. So it's just one of them.
It's why we had to have Masuaku come in and be the other half of the left back.
And even Fornals when he was
and
playing
even
on the
Fornals,
what
on the left is so that he can come back and help.
Whether you rate him or not, he needs a backup. He gets hurt. We don't have a left back at all. It's like at all. It's like, you know what I mean?
Crazy about the Lingard Benrahma debate. Have two players who play the same role. We're in Europa League. We have a 38-game Premier League season.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody make it make sense.
Right. We have.
What makes me laugh is, right, we've got 3 right backs.
It's fine.
We've got 3 right backs at the club, and we've got 1 left back. It just doesn't make no sense.
5 goalkeepers. Well, 4 now.
Well, we got nothing but goalkeepers. I mean, Lingard. Going back to him, I have always said, and I still maintain I'd love to have him back. But let's be honest, he's 28. He has 1 year left on his contract, as we all know. If we pay more than £20 million, we're getting fleeced. I'm sorry, but
I agree.
Well, we can't because we got to get more. That'll be it. If we pay over 20 or up, that's it. That's going to be the window. That's it. Boom. Nobody else.
Basically a rental, and that's okay because we need a rental for Europa League.
But the problem is we need at least 3 more guys. Period. I mean,
that's
you know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah, we can't blow it all on him. We can't do it. We can't do it.
If we say
plastic, but we can't blow it all on.
If we say, for instance, that you sign Lingard, go and get a left back on loan. We've been linked with a man from Juventus. I think it was today. I've
never seen him.
Everybody says this, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
And
I don't know who it is either. Yeah.
Basically, but the problem also is the midfield, because you take Rice and Souček out, your class drops from.
You got, and I'll tell you something else. What did we see yesterday when they both had off games? We were poor. And I don't blame them because again they're tired. I get it, but there is nobody to step in for them. Lanzini cannot be a defensive midfielder because he's too small. He's not.
He can't even be a midfielder. Like he can't.
The injury destroyed him. But I know Moyes was using it in a more defensive role, but he's too small and he doesn't tackle hard enough.
And a couple of weeks ago, I nearly shit my pants when I saw news that Connor Coventry might go on loan or bought by somebody because
you can't.
And mind you, I was on this and very passionate about the first time it happened when we sold Josh Cullen. We were practically fucked.
Yeah, I know.
And I do not. And obviously, Josh Cullen right now in our team. Who the fuck knows how he play? But like that can't happen again.
You got to wonder if our academy is going to produce anybody because Moyes going to trust the academy, and I he knows more than I do about football. Okay, so I'm not going to question that, but we have to get these young players coming through. That's what.
See, the thing is, though,
we've always done.
Right? So the thing is with that, it's like, as I said to you earlier, Oko Flex is in the under 23s. Scored a hat-trick the other week.
Yes.
That would have been a perfect game to bring him on for Bowen.
That Arsenal team was bad, though, James.
Yeah.
That was bad opposition. Anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but it just, how can I put it? It makes no sense when you're bringing on Lanzini, who's not a winger, for Bowen yesterday.
He was dead meat on the side.
I didn't understand the Lanzini. First of all, why take off Bowen, who I thought was playing okay? Why put on Lanzini, who
because they're gassed
and has no pace anymore?
If you did the run meter or whatever on Bowen, he didn't get no goal, no shots off that was sexy, but he locked that side down. And our wingers, what people they got to understand with our system, they intertwine with the fullbacks. Each one. Going forward, it matters, and going backwards, it matters. They have to be aware of each other. And Bowen he just presses the shit.
And you don't have to ask Bowen to run up and down. You don't have to ask him to do that.
And he knows positionally where to be. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is.
And listen, I mean, they're all what worries me.
Whoever Moyes brings in, they're gonna be pace guys. If he brings in a striker or false, whatever you want to say, it's gonna be a guy with pace.
Yeah.
So all these slow guys that they're bringing up in the comments. No, we do a counterattack. How are you going to have slow guys?
The thing is, it's what Charlie said there, right? Something Charlie said about the counterattack. And it proves it yesterday against Palace because we have to break them down. Like the first 2 games of the season, this is why I weren't getting carried away, is the fact that Newcastle away, they're at home, they're going to come on to us. So it's a perfect game for us to counterattack.
Yep.
The counterattack.
And they're kind of terrible right now anyway. Newcastle.
Yeah, right. Good. And then obviously Leicester come up against us 1-on-1, and they're a go forward team. They're not a counter attacking team. They're a team that want to be on the front foot from the get go. Perfect game for us again.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah.
And Palace are a team that was always going to sit there and counter attack us. Yesterday, they was always going to sit us, try and break us down, and basically do that.
And they did it successfully. And I'll tell you something else. You know, it wasn't just the 2 goals. We had other defensive lapses. That free kick right at the end.
Even though there's
that comment,
we don't discriminate goals.
That comment from Foe about Odebekio, I know someone who knows him personally. He doesn't want to leave permanently. He wants to go out on loan and get experience. That's what he wants to get.
Yeah. We need that.
Yeah. No, I get that. And listen, I mean, to Helen's point, I don't want to. Fab and Dawson drop doesn't mean I blame the result on them. However, Dawson has been consistently poor, I think, all season of the first 3 games anyway. And I got to tell you, Fab has never looked the same after his injury, and we have a replacement for him now. You know what I mean? Back when it was David Martin, God bless him, you can't really do that.
It doesn't make no sense with the error. Sorry to butt in, Lee, but it just does not make no sense having Areola on the bench.
No,
otherwise,
I think we're gonna. I have not a strong feeling, but I would not be surprised if we saw him against Southampton.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
I think we might. I think we might.
We see him. We see him in the cup game, the League Cup game.
We see Zuma in for Dawson by Southampton,
and we will see him in the Europa League area.
With keeper, I'm with you, James. Moyes does not like to change his keeper. He has faith in Fab. He trusts him. You can't blame Fab for the result yesterday, although I thought he was kind of poorly positioned for both goals.
It just
as you
makes,
said earlier.
The way I look at it is, right, I don't know about everyone else, but we've loaned a goalkeeper that we're using as a reserve goalkeeper.
Right.
Like, to me, that doesn't really make you got Darren Randolph there.
It doesn't, and we're going to see Areola at least in the cup games. I'd give him a start against Southampton. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. Generally, we play Southampton pretty well. Okay, not to jinx it, but our record against Southampton is pretty good. And we've got 2 weeks for most of our players to rest, although not some of our more important players. Most of our players are going to rest. We should come into this relatively fresh. I say, see how he does. It's a situation where I don't know if you want to throw him in against Chelsea right off the bat, or if you want to throw him in against somebody like Man City. But Southampton, Danny Ings is gone. I mean, maybe it's a good time. You know, maybe it's a good time for
and it's not that anybody's hating on Dawson. It's like, listen, the man is a backup. If he was a Premier League starter, he wouldn't have signed for the $2 million or whatever it was. He's on backup money, and he could do bits. He puts in a shift. But the truth is the truth. Yeah, it's not just this last couple games. Last season, he had a stretch of 7 games. He's getting carted out the game. He's getting own goals. I even messaged Phoebes. I don't know if I sent him a shot. He was out of position. I had no idea where Augie was at. And I'm not even talking about like listen, I watched this shit. It's not just like, oh, I'm just going to say anything. The man knows. His agent knows he's a backup. He knows he's a backup. We have to use him. We have to use him because we have nobody. You understand?
He was 5th choice.
Forgot he was with the club last fall.
He was 5th choice last season.
Well, he comes in. What happens is he comes in. He wants to earn a contract. He plays several games really well. All right, a string of maybe 7 or 8 games. He gets the contract, whatever that was, and immediately the form just drops off.
And obviously, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that like, oh, I just got paid. I'm going to be complacent.
He's not that good. He's just not that good.
Yeah, I mean, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
That's exactly what happened.
But the clock's wrong, twice. But the thing of it is this: there was times he was out of position and he was doing the wrong move and doing my nut in. But we won the game. So when you win a game, everything's all forgiven, and nobody says that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, but the Newcastle game, I was the first one to come out and say Dawson was absolutely shambolic in that game. Even though we got away with it, was obviously second half we turned up. But the first half, he was fucking awful. Like,
and you know what, Charlie, you're absolutely right, both of you guys. But Charlie Boy in particular, when we win, everybody forgets all the sins. You know what I mean? And everybody asks, why can't we just be? I mean, I am happy with where we've started. All right, I'm happy with David Moyes. I'm happy with almost every player in our starting 11. Basically, I don't have any. I love these guys. I love this team, but you can't just because we get results doesn't mean that these guys are all individually playing well in every match. Dawson was brutal down the stretch.
You can catch this criticism any day of the week.
Right, and he's been brutal. He's been brutal these
Yeah, but
first three games.
the problem is,
I
he
love
shouldn't.
the underdog, but he's not getting it done.
He does not get in. Dawson does not start in a team in the top 10, top 12. Right.
No.
I think the only team that Dawson starts in, right, maybe two, is Watford and Norwich.
Yeah.
And that is no joke. I'm not even taking the piss.
Maybe Arsenal, James. Maybe Arsenal.
Well, maybe.
This is how.
But it's gonna. Would they? You know what? I'm not gonna jinx it with them. I can't do that. I take that back. Anyway, go ahead.
But you know how it is. It's just
no. You're right. He's not a Europa League caliber center back on a Europa League caliber club, which is what we are right now.
That's right. And the thing is, what Charlie's saying is bang on the money. Yeah, he's a £2.2 million signing who's a backup.
Right.
He played out of his skin.
He's half a season away.
He signed that quick. That's a backup sway. He signed it quick. There was no arguing.
He's half a season away from playing in the.
Let's be honest.
In the National League South, you know,
he had about a handful, maybe 8 games last season. I think he played 16, 17 games in all, but about 6 or 7 of them he played very, very well in, like extremely good, and I was praising him up all the time. But everyone forgets the Newcastle away game when he got sent off. Like, everyone forgets that one night and the shambolic defended.
I think that's implanted into my brain.
And the thing is,
the two own goals against I can't remember who it was, but somebody else.
Arsenal. That was against Arsenal.
One game,
right? But the game against Wolves, he could have got sent off there and all. He got booked after the first 5 minutes against Wolves away. And it was only because Jesse Lingard turned into prime Messi that day that we end up getting that result.
Exactly.
I think he come in, he was 5th choice. He ended up being 1st choice. And I'll be glad when he goes back to being 3rd choice. That makes sense. 3rd or 4th choice. So
I don't think Diop is terrible. We talked about this earlier. I don't think Diop is terrible. I think Diop makes some mistakes that are high-profile mistakes, but he almost always recovers from them, and Dawson doesn't.
See,
he can't.
I can't understand that with Novelist, I don't know, I've never, whatever, Novelist has got his own opinion, and I just can't understand
I respect that. I just don't see it the same way.
But I can't understand how Diop can get dug out when Dawson last year at Newcastle away, people were going, he's got money in the bank, though. Well, he ain't got money in the bank when he's getting sent off after 36 minutes and we're 2-0 down. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Diop has some problems with his positioning, which is where I think Zuma can help him. All right, but Diop has pace that Dawson doesn't have. He has skill that Dawson doesn't have, and he has an ability to recover that Dawson doesn't have. And I mean, you talk about these two guys. When you talk about Issa Diop, you're talking about him. You're giving him an ABCD grade. When you talk about Craig Dawson, you're grading him pass fail. Do you know what I mean? He's on a lower scale. Diop plays on a higher plane than Dawson to me, and if you're critical of him, it's because you expect more of him. Craig Dawson is the slow kid in class. You look at it and say like, oh, that's really good. You got a 75 on your test.
At the surface, we all know who's better between the two.
I mean,
but Diop still has a ceiling. Yes. Dawson is what he is.
Dawson smacked the ceiling last season, and now he's bounced back.
I mean, he's at the age where, you know what I mean. And if we play a hard line, he's getting skint. That's it. That's why he got caught.
But as we said earlier, sorry, Charlie. As we said earlier, mate. Right. He could do 10 great things. Diop. He'll do 1 or 2 bad things. And everybody
gets him out. How many times have we seen him make? Clearances? How do they? In extremis, as they say in France, like last second clearances that have saved us. He does it all the time.
What about the 60-yard pass that he hit the Bowen right on his nut, and then Bowen knocked it to Lingard, and we get a goal? Who the fuck's doing that from the back?
And what about the clearance against Arsenal last year when I think it was Lacazette chipped the keeper? He's like bicycle kicks it off the line.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
But no one will mention that because
he does that all the time. But when he does something good, nobody talks about it. When he makes a mistake, when he's out of position, and usually he recovers. By the way, when he's out of position, everybody digs him up for that. With Dawson, it's like he can do. It's like people want to give him 1,000 chances.
I think personally,
I agree with that first bite aggression. He needs a little aggression. We need to make him meaner. That's what I think.
We need to make him meaner.
I think that Suma coming in we'll get the best out of Diop, and I've said that from the get go. Right?
Maybe I was one, Phil. Maybe I'm just saying. Anyway.
I think Suma is the man that will bring the best out of Diop. I think we will see the old Diop again.
I think we will see a huge change. I think get him somebody in who speaks his language, and get him somebody in who's a veteran.
Because let's be honest here. I know Bonner's been great, and he's a Rolls Royce type of defender, but he's 34. He's 34. He's 34 years old.
Yeah.
Well, the first year when Diop come in with us, he had Balbuena next to him, and they both didn't speak English. Right. And Balbuena's English was non-existent. So
I still would have kept him, by the way. But yeah.
I would have kept him and all really because I think. But then
Sheep,
if he
good player, I never ain't gonna move.
Yeah, but it's again though, Lee. If a player wants first team football, he ain't going to get it. It's going to go somewhere else.
He went to Moscow, James. He went to Russia. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying how bad. I guess he wanted it badly because he went to Russia. But anyway, keep going. I'm sorry, it's irrelevant.
But it's just one of them, though, mate. But I just think Diop, you will see the best out of Diop. The problem is Moyes always likes his old type defenders. He had it with Joseph Yobo years ago. He's had it with other players, Alan Stubbs when he was there. Like he knows.
He's hesitant to give the young guys a run out. He's more comfortable with the older players. That's just what it is. You're 100% right.
The only way that things will change is when that League Cup comes and he puts people like Alessi in or Baptiste or Okoflex, and if they start performing, people are going to go, right, get that man in the team. It's the only way that we're going to see these players.
I agree with you, James. It's the only way because Moyes in the league won't use the young players. He won't do. He doesn't trust them. And he sees them every day, and we don't. All right, we see their performances in the under 23s or whatever, which, as we know, is a low level of football. All right, it's not even it's like a League 1, League 2 level of football.
Not even that. I think it's
like National League South level of football or National League level of football. Yeah, non-league. Anyway, he doesn't trust. We see those guys scoring hat tricks against a bunch of 12-year-olds from Arsenal. We say we're going to get these guys in the first team. But you saw Odubeko come out against Manchester United last season in the FA Cup out of his depth, totally out of his depth. Granted, tough competition, but got substituted after coming on as a sub, which is about as bad as it can get. I think we have to trust Moyes. On the other hand, I wish we could bring some players through the academy that he would actually trust. Do you know what I mean? I'm starting to wonder, like, where is the Academy of Football? Like we brought through Declan. Other than that, it's been kind of a dry spell.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Lee?
Moved on to nothing.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it, excuse me, a lot of it is not just with West Ham. I think it's other clubs and all, like other big clubs and all. I think what it is with the youngsters nowadays, they think as soon as they get that first paycheck of, say, that youth team contract, and they're on between 8 and 15 grand a week, they've cracked it. Like they can go out and buy their nice cars and all that, and that's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You've got to give Alves a bit of a shout because he's gone out on loan. Odubeko wants to go out on loan. He don't want to leave permanently, but he wants to go out on loan.
Yeah.
And the club should be getting every one of them players in the youth shouldn't even be playing that youth, right? And the best way of describing it is Brentford don't have a youth team. They have all their players out on loan. They don't even have that. And what they do, they cherry pick all the players from other clubs. And go, right, what
they're analytics based.
Yeah. And it's the best way of doing it. Because there's a lot of players in that team who, let's be honest, right, if Baptiste and Alessi were that good, right, we wouldn't be going out and signing another centre half for them two. Do you know what I mean? So
no, of course we wouldn't. And that's the thing is everybody wants the kids to play, and the problem is I wish we had kids who were capable of playing. I'm not sure we do right now. And you're right, James. It's a chicken and egg thing because on one hand you say, well, they're not good enough. On the other hand, we don't really know how good they are because we never see them against we only see them in under 23s. Which, as you said, Lucas, that's like a National League sort of 5th tier level at best. It doesn't really mean anything. When we beat Arsenal 6-1 or whatever it was in the under 23s, there were 3 senior players in that team. I think Yarmolenko.
Masuaku played in there.
Yeah, so it was easy.
The only way
it didn't mean anything.
The only way that it ever works out with youngsters is if a team's in crisis and the youngsters have to be brought in and they perform,
right?
Or they have to play in a cup game and they play so good that
which is
the fans.
what it's gonna. I mean, well, either one could happen for us.
Yeah.
Because with we get injuries, we're gonna have to bring some kids in. But I think listen, in the League Cup, I know Manchester United. I don't think they're going to play a lot of their first team either. So bring in the youth. Let them have a shot. Give them a shot.
Yeah.
You know what's?
I think you've got to write the League Cup off, and that's hard to say.
I do too.
I think if we'd have
at
got
least
a
the
better draw,
Carabao Cup, at least.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't won a trophy in 41 years, so I don't like to write off trophies. But the League
They're
Cup,
coming for you now, Phoebes. Everybody's like, I can't believe he said that, boy. Oh, disrespectful. But
no, I'd rather win the Europa, mate. If someone said to me,
I would too.
Well, you know what I mean?
Oh no, it's you got to go for the Europa. You got to go for it. Absolutely.
But even then, if we win that, we only get one. We only sign one player.
That takes us further as a club. We win Europa. You understand? Like, you know what I mean?
And we've hit the promised land because it's the Champions League place, is it not? If you win Europa, don't you get a Champions League place for winning Europa?
Yeah,
I think 100%. You do.
Yeah,
and so what I'm saying is, finish 10th in the Prem. Who cares? You know what I mean? Finish 12th. Who cares? Win Europa League. It gets you everything you want. You know?
Well,
it gets
you imagine that. You imagine
and that's
that.
a big deal. I realize winning it is not likely, but even so, you know.
I don't know. Like, you can get far in it. Yeah.
Fulham were in the final 15 years ago, something like that.
And there's no away goals now. So
right,
basically,
I hate the away goals rule. Yeah.
Right. So basically, if it's level, it carries on. So yeah, there's nothing saying we can't, but obviously it all goes back to the owners, it all goes back to squad depth yet again, and it always will be.
Don't we get super mega money too? You get in Champions League, you get that big bag.
Yeah.
Sully still bring him in on loan.
Supposedly.
I mean,
the problem.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The problem is, I'm sorry to cut in, Lee, but
no, go ahead.
It's the ambition of the owners that irritates me in this window, and it really does irate me. I look at these owners, I think you're in the Europa League. It's the first time in 22 years. We've got a good draw now. We can't do everything. We should be going right. We should have 5 players in here. And look at Palace, and I will use Palace as an example. Excuse me, I use it as an example. They've got 2 brand new centre halves. They've just signed Conor Gallagher on loan. They've got another player. Players. Yeah, it's like 5-6 players they've signed, and we've only signed 2, and one of them's a loan, and one of them's for cash. And I look at that and I think, what is going on? Like, we all know the situation, we all know the issues that we have, and for some strange reason, they don't. Do you know what I mean? Which is mad.
I think they do. I just don't think they care. I mean,
I agree.
I think they have no ambition. I don't think they ever had any.
Exactly, because I don't like we all probably feel this way, but I like to give most people benefit of the doubt that they're not as dumb as they appear, or like some things they say. But at this point, they have clearly showed they don't give 2 shits.
Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? They talk. We all know what they said. All right, leave the Boleyn, move into the London Stadium. It's a next level stadium, next level club, next level everything. Well, guess what? We actually got to the next level because they finally crawled back to a manager who was competent and got us in the Europa League. So we are at the next level, and they won't take us. They won't let us stay there. Do you know what I mean? Despite them, after 10 years, a manager and a young 20-year-old center defensive midfielder and a striker with hamstrings made of pudding got us into Europa League, all right, against all odds. And so it's next level time, guys. Let's see it. Let's see the investment. Let's pony it up. But they're giving us nothing.
You know? I agree on that. Absolutely.
And that's what's so frustrating is why did we do all this? You know, why did we do all this? It was one thing when they bought the club when we were about to go to administration. It was another when they tore down the Boleyn. They blew it up for a movie. They moved us into a stadium and broke all the promises that they made about the stadium. They broke all the promises they made about investment. They've broken every promise they've ever made. They've lied and lied and lied. And it was
worse than sin to me.
Well, and it was not even they don't get credit for where we are.
Everything Moyes has done.
Gets it. Antonio gets Souček and Sufal get it. But so we get there and they won't step up now. Like now is the time.
Everything Moyes has done, he's done in spite of the board. Like
exactly.
having
Exactly.
Declan now. Declan, I've always said this ever since Declan Rice has been the captain of this club. I've gone in a completely different direction. Like we're a much more like he's going to have poor games. Declan, he's human. He ain't super.
Everybody does. And
you know what I mean? Everyone does.
Yep. So it is.
But the way I look at this is right. We should have 5 or 6 players at this club going right. I know use an example, right? But someone like a Ben Johnson, Ryan Fredericks, one of them should be out on loan. One of them, or one of them should be gone. Like if Ben Johnson is the next right back coming through, Fredericks shouldn't be there, right? Because he's not. Right, these other players, like Yarmolenko, shouldn't be there. Right, if you can't flog him, if you can't
on those
sell him,
huge wages,
it just makes no sense to me.
You should be using Declan as obviously not like an agent or figurehead, but like he is the perfect guy to just like say, "Hey, Declan Rice is here." And
do you know the reason why it's so important to sign Lingard? Because what it is, Lingard would attract players to the club also.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If he signs on a permanent deal, absolutely he will.
And it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure that out.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
It's the old saying, though.
But the owners don't. They don't care about success. They just want to get this thing built to a point where they can sell it when they either they can sell it when they get the.
Like this is just passive fucking income to them. It's fucking.
Well, that's the other thing. Or they just keep making money off of it. They may never sell it. They just keep it the way it is.
Oh man!
Listen, it's guys. I mean, I grew up in Texas in Dallas, and our local baseball team was the Texas Rangers, and they were always mediocre to bad, but they had just enough fans show up to make money. The owners had just enough fans show up that they were never in a financial crisis. And what they would do is they would go out and sign guys who were old, but they were big names. People knew who they were, and they'd bring them in, and people would come out and they'd see Al Oliver, they'd see, Nolan Ryan was still pretty good. But the point is, they'd bring these guys in who had been around forever.
Young Juan Gonzalez, remember Juan Gonzalez?
They had a good team with
Rodriguez.
Palmeiro and Pudge Rodriguez. That was a good team, legitimately. Should have been better because they had no pitching. But anyway, the point is, when I was growing up in the 80s, enough big names, they'd bring these guys in, people would go to see them. The team would always finish 4th or 5th in the division, whatever, but it made just enough money to keep going. You know what I mean? Just enough money. And that's the way I see these owners. Just enough money to be profitable to them so they can get their loans paid back and all that stuff. That's all they want. They don't care about competition. They don't care about the next level. They don't care about the fans at all. It's just enough to keep going. That's what they do. That's what they did. Just to keep us up until they got more.
And the thing is, right, I would love to know. I'd love to have sat in that boardroom during the summer, and I would love to have seen what the owners' expectations are for this season.
Yeah.
That would have been very interesting to say, right, is the expectations to finish in the same position this season as we was last season, or is there expectations like Lee said, just to keep us in the league?
That's it. And just stay up and don't get relegated, because then they really ain't going to be able to sell us for nothing if they get relegated.
Exactly, Charlie boy. All they want us to do is finish 17th. That's
we know what it was. The move over there was sexier appeal that made the value of the team skyrocket for them when they want to do it. That's what it was. There was no like, oh, we want to do bullshit. Nobody, I don't buy it.
And yet we still compare everything and talk about Upton Park every fucking day.
Giving the benefit of the doubt. They've been here for what, 10, 11 years? Ain't no benefit of the doubt. I have no doubt in my mind there's snakes.
And you know what, right? It does break my heart. It does break my heart a little bit, because in 6 years, like this shirt I've got on is the last shirt that I wore at their Boleyn, right? I haven't been to Stratford in 6 years, right? And I haven't been to any game at home in 6 years. When I look at that, and I look at the way they are running the club, it is a shame. But I don't want to be sort of rude and everything, but it's it's always the same.
I say this all the time.
Every year, it's the same thing.
As passionate as like me, Charlie Lee, all the other American fans, like as much as it pains us, when I think about people like you in that situation, it honestly breaks my fucking heart.
Does me too.
Because if it really agitates me,
right,
like I can only imagine.
Sitting over here, like 3,000 miles away.
Exactly.
And the thing is, what it is with me, and me and Charlie have spoke on different platforms. One thing with me is I'm consistent in what I come out with. I don't come out with something like I'm not going to sit there and slag the board off and go the ball's this, ball's that, ball's the other, but then go over there on the Saturday and pay them load of dough. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of it.
I mean, listen, that's a valid point. I mean, the problem
it ain't got nothing to do with the boys or winning or losing. We love them, right? It's just strictly with the boy. And my attitude ain't going to change to weasels. If they're weasels, they're weasels. We could win 20 games in a row. If they're weasels, they're weasels. I'm not going to flip-flop. I don't do beach shoes. Sorry. I go to the beach, I'm barefooted in my toesies, you heard? I don't change. I don't like them.
You're right. The real
problem is winning a few games. That ain't got nothing to do with it. They're snakes, and they taking us further. We got a chance to do something sexy, and they taking the mick out of everybody.
And the real problem is with any if any organization you want to boycott or if you want to make a change, you have to do it with money always. All right. If you want to hurt somebody, you got to hurt somebody in the wallet. And the best way to do that, if you're a fan who goes to the games, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's not to go to the games. It's not to spend the money. Yeah. I mean, I still buy the shirts. I do.
It's just a cold hard truth.
Well, don't buy the shirts. Don't go to the games. Look at who sponsors us and buy the competitors' product.
The problem is, Lee.
That's how you hurt them. But that also hurts the club. That hurts the club. That means we can't buy anybody. That hurts the club. That's the problem.
But the problem is, Lee, if them owners wanted to get the fans on side of all these seasons that they've been there, it would have been this year, right?
Yeah,
if they would have come out,
exactly.
If they would have come out and gone, there's £80 million there, boys. You've done amazing for us. Take us on now. As West Ham fans, whether you're over in the States or I'm here in the UK, right? We can all sit back and go, well, fair play to them. Right? Look what they've done. Right? They've done something positive for Moyes and the fans and the club to progress.
Right.
They've done absolutely nothing. Right? And
they had a chance, at least not to be hated.
Twice they've had a chance.
Exactly. They had a chance. They blew it with the stadium, and then here we are in Europa League. No thanks to them, they're blowing it again.
Even the first time, obviously not right into the group, but still, like we made it to Europa League and nothing.
That's the thing. This was the summer when they had a chance to at least have people say, you know what, we're going to back off of them a little bit. We don't hate them as much. Now what they've done, they've made it worse. They've made it worse by not supporting us. They've made it worse by not investing. And
because it's proven everyone rightly. That's what it is.
It's proven everyone right. Exactly. Because everything they do, it's exactly what we expect. And that's not what we want. It's what we expect. They talk about it. Listen, I know it's expensive to run a football club. I do. I get all that. I hate this whole talk about how we're skint. I mean, I don't. That's hard for me to believe. All right, I know there were no
because it's not fucking true. We all know that. We all know
fans in the ground last season. I understand. Everybody knows that. But every club went through the same thing. All right, every club up and down the pyramid.
No Premier League club is fucking skint.
Right. Every season we get a gigantic check from Sky and from NBC.
That Europa League one wasn't big enough though.
We got a check for finishing sixth. We got a check from TV. We make a lot of money as a Premier League club, all right? And I get tired of seeing David Sullivan in his gold Rococo house, in his whorehouse basically, in his his little pimp house. With all
then fucking Karen Brady spewing bullshit every other day.
All the tacky shit around him, right? And Karen Brady, the reality TV star. David Gold, I don't want to have as much against him, to be honest. But these guys roll around in the Rolls Royces and they're telling us they don't have any money. I'm like,
Karen Brady really does my fucking head, and I'm not going to lie to you.
With me. Don't plead poverty with me, okay?
Do you know what, though, Lee? Do you know what you used to say there?
And I know it's not, you can't just access it out of the bank account. I get that, but even so.
And I can understand what you're saying. I really can, right? But when people say about Gold, if Gold wasn't happy or Gold wanted to do the right thing, he would walk away.
Yes.
He'd say, you know what? I want to sell my share and I want to go off into the sunset. The reason why they won't do any of that is for the simple fact of the matter is they know full well when they sell this club, they're going to be their families and their families' families and their families' families will be set up for life, like for the next 3 or 4 generations. Yeah. So it's, to me, it was a perfect window, right? If we only see one player come through this door in this window, to me, I don't care what any person says, that is a shit window in my opinion. Zuma's a good signing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but we need more than just Zuma.
We need a lot more than that. And I'm telling you, when we come on here, we're going to come on here in November, December, January, especially around the holiday season, when we've been in Europa League, when we're in the festive fixtures, and we're going to have injuries, and we're going to have a thin squad, and we're going to have like 2 guys on the bench, and we're going to be, we're going to look back on August and September, and we're going to say, and even before that, and say this is what we were talking about, because it's going to happen. It's injuries happen, form dips, things like that happen. It's just the way it goes, and they haven't prepared us to compete in Europe or in the Premiership, but especially both at the same time. They haven't prepared us for that. It's just, again, I think we're preaching to the choir. I don't think many people support the board.
And I don't believe that when people keep saying, well, Moyes hasn't found the players that he's looking for, I don't believe that crap.
I don't believe that either. No, I don't believe
that. He said last year he had his targets ready. Remember that? He said he's got his ready. And when the summertime, he's going to look to get business done quick. And I'm going to tell you, they keep jerking around Moyes. I would not feel no type of way if Moyes went in an office and said, you know what? You just don't want to do right by me? Yep. Right here. Because the guy, what was the French coach that did that over there? Lee, what team? Last year. Who was it?
I'm trying to remember.
They had riots in the whole bit last year.
Well, that happens all the time. You got to be more specific.
He was even quoted multiple times saying, I want these guys in by preseason.
Well, I'll tell you what, Charlie boy, that's happened at some.
Lee, I thought you really was going to know who the French club was. You really let me down just right now.
I let myself down because I don't remember.
I threw you a soft toss. You hit a home run out of the park.
He threw you a hoop, bro.
But you know what, Charlie? I'm bad at softball, and I can't even hit a wiffle ball. I can't do anything like that.
I can't hit a wiffle ball.
I have.
Hey, wiffle ball's got some nasty movement. To be fair,
true. I have no depth perception, and I can't hit a baseball to save my life. I know. I hit. Yeah, it was terrible. So anyway, sorry. We gotta do something else.
Who wants to see me hit baseballs? I might do a baseball cracking vid. I'm gonna show them what's really popping. You think it's a joke? I knock the shit out of something.
No, do it. I'd watch it. I believe it.
On the Jameson.
It's gonna drive me crazy. Now, see, now you're gonna have me thinking about that. I will say, some years ago, John Toshak walked away from Saint Etienne that way. He just walked in and said, "I'm out." And he's a great manager. Long time. This is 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. Anyway,
sooner or later, there's gonna have to be a real punch in the mouth statement, and I don't know if that's gonna be Moyes walking out, like Declan handing in or I don't even know. I really don't know. But at some point, there's going to be or has to be a punch in the mouth.
Turned his career around with us. If Moyes has one more season like he had last season, either a top 6 finish or a Europa League knockout stage.
If we finish top 6 again, he would literally have to walk into that room and be like, "Listen, if you don't give me."
That's what I'm saying.
100 million, not even 100, like 70, 80 million fucking pounds to spend. I am out.
Because if he gets West Ham into the top 6 again, or if he gets us close to Europa League title, I'm talking about quarterfinal, semifinal, something like that, then other Premier League clubs are going to look at him. All right.
Exactly.
And then it's not just Real Sociedad or whatever. He's going to start getting attention from inside the Premier League, and he will walk, because we have, along with Newcastle, the worst owners in the Premier League. So these guys, and then we're in a lot of trouble, because nobody's going to want to come in after that. So you're right. There's got to be a come to Jesus. There's got to be a point at which, our owners say, we've got to back this guy, or like seriously back this guy.
And honestly, I'm straightforward to the jump guy. Like I'd rather you be an asshole to me than be fake. And with the board, I honestly would rather them just be like, we don't give 2 shits.
Yeah.
Than talk all this fucking bullshit.
My guy
Well-
Series 4000 says baseball's like rounders. It sucks. Okay, I'll hit it with a cricket bat. They make it.
Let me just say this about Drake. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You guys, maybe Lucas and Charlie, will you back me up on this a little bit, okay? A round ball with a round bat, when the ball's coming at you 100 miles an hour, there are very few things to do in sports that are harder than that, than to hit a baseball. I'm talking about, I don't mean a soft, I'm talking about a,
95 mile an hour major league.
I will tell you something,
a
mate.
Jake DeGrom fastball, a round ball.
You have a millisecond to figure out.
I will tell you what's harder than that.
Darts.
Playing crazy golf with your missus today. That was
I seen that nice shot tap in. You gave the stare down too. He wasn't that jizzy. I was like, yeah, get in, James. That is a competitor, you heard? James gave it a look. I said, look at this guy hitting the thing. He looks at his old lady.
What it is, I've got to edit a few videos, but
yeah, no. I anytime you play a sport with your missus, you got in trouble. That's a bad idea in general. Did you win?
I won the first one. We all giving it the 2 fingers salute. She didn't like that one, but the second one, she sort of come into her own.
Like it.
See, the problem is when you play a sport against your girl, you always lose, even if you win. It doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? So you might as well just lose because you're going to lose no matter what. But unfortunately, my wife is not athletic. She doesn't really care, so we don't do stuff like that. We used to play racquetball, actually, at Boston College, but that was so long ago. The building where we played is now gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So, but we played racquetball, but that was more just to keep in shape years ago. But yeah, sports with your lady, I don't know, man.
I only say hockey is tougher than baseball.
Hockey may be the toughest sport in the world.
I never played that, but I don't know. But I went to a game. Me and bro went to a game, and I didn't really know what was going on. But you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was the most fun shit I ever been to in my life. Like, they get it popping over there.
Hockey live. Let me tell you something.
Throwing octopuses on the ice. I'm like, what's going on? Why are they throwing animals on ice?
Oh, did you go to Detroit? Did you go to Detroit?
No. They was doing this shit in New York, but it might have been the Detroit guy snuck it in.
In Detroit, when they score the first goal of the game, they throw an octopus on the ice. That's an old Detroit. But let me tell you something. I love football. It's my favorite sport. We all know that, okay? But I'm just going to say this. For live in the arena sports, hockey is the best sport in the world. And I'm sorry, it's not even close. Ice hockey, if you're going to be live in the arena, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Even college hockey here down the street in Lowell, 10 minutes, it's awesome. Awesome.
And then they let them fight. They let them fight. They let them have a go.
In the NHL, they let them fight.
Oh, speaking of fight, watching Burnley Leeds today was actually a fucking pleasure. They were about to kick off 15 minutes into the game.
I didn't see any games today. I didn't see any games today.
I don't blame you for not wanting to watch, but as a purist, it was really nice to see.
Well, I love a good chippy game if we're not involved in it, or if we are involved in it as long as we're on top. But yeah, I love being a neutral and watching a good chippy game like that. It's always fun. Remember what was the World Cup game? It was like the Netherlands and Portugal. It was like maybe 2006, something like that, where it just totally went off. Do you remember that, James?
I think it was then, or was it Spain and I think was it Italy and Spain? I think, or something like that.
Oh, it might have been. Well, there's been a few. I just remember there was the game where it was Hugh Dallas. It was an English or Scottish ref. I can't remember if it was English or Scottish.
Yeah,
but he gave somebody three yellows and didn't send him off on the second yellow, and he sent him off on the third yellow. I think that might have been the same game. I don't remember, but anyway, good good ref. But yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, football's fun. The atmosphere is better. It's better football. Don't get me wrong, the singing and all that. But for the action on the field of play or the ice or whatever, you cannot beat hockey. Sorry.
And they got hot at me because the Red Wing guy, he clipped. I don't even know who they was. This was a long time ago. They squared off, right. This playing the Rangers. Bink, and he knocks the guy out. And I'm just like, whoa. They're like, they got mad at me because I don't know. I just showed up. I don't care about either team. I see a fight. I think this is great.
I used to go to the minor league games. Well, sometimes I still do, but I used to go to the minor league games up in Manchester, New Hampshire. Now, if you want to see fights, a lot of the guys in minor league hockey are trying to make their careers by being enforcers. All right, that's why they're there. The only way they're going to make it to the NHL is by fighting because they're not good enough as regular. Players.
Dawson would have been a great hockey player because my guy. Listen, he's an enforcer out there, right?
Remember, Lucas Suchek was a hockey player, wasn't he? Suchek was a hockey player. if you want to see fights, man, go to these
and they're
AHL.
well conditioned.
Oh, they're well. You know why? I mean, they do 20, 30 minutes a night, okay? But it's constant action. You know, they come off and come on. But the hockey, they play 82 games a year. I mean, it goes on, and then they play the playoffs. The minor league games are fantastic though, because that's when you get the biggest fights, huge fights.
What's their schedule then? You just said 82 games a year. What's their schedule? Was it a game every 4 days?
Twice a week.
It's twice a week, yeah.
I don't know. I watch footy and boxing, and occasionally some basketball.
Sometimes 3. I'm Pittsburgh everything. So I mean I've seen the Penguins play 3 games in a week, and for hockey that's fucking brutal.
It's brutal. No, it is. It's brutal. It's when I was living in Fort Worth many years ago, we had a low-level minor league team in Fort Worth, and used to chat with some of the players after the games, and it's a tough life. You know, it is. It's a tough sport, but it's in Canada and in Sweden and places, some parts of the U.S. here, like where we are, and up in the upper Midwest. They have the same passion for it that you have for football in England. It's the same idea. It's just life. In Canada, it's just life. It's just how they live, you know. So anyway, getting off on a tangent, but so no, we don't have a game next week. Obviously, have the international break, which I should have known we wouldn't beat Palace because we never win before the international break.
The next 2 days are gonna feel like a fucking week. I'll tell you that.
But you know, that's the boys needed a rest, and that's time for Zuma to come in and get, you know what I mean, to learn his bits with the boys. Yeah.
Time for Zuma to come in, start working with Diop, start working with the center backs. You know, we'll see about Lingard or Vlasic or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Hey, Vlasic.
What? It's the pickle guy said it was Vlasic.
Hey, but he's got a little accent under the sea.
All right,
so
I'm just saying the stork said it was Vlasic. All right.
Before we,
I'm sorry. I have to challenge you on this. I mean, go ahead, James. Sorry.
So before we all come to the end of it, then the end of this tonight, how many signings can you see us doing before the window shuts?
You go first, Lee. We'll go round table.
I think we sign one more, and it's either Lingard or Pickle. And I think that's it.
That's an expensive pickle.
It's an expensive pickle. I think that's it. But you know, who knows? I'm anything but in the nose.
I'm always optimistic, and I hate it most of the time. But I'm gonna say 3.
Really?
Or no, including Zuma. So 2.
Oh, okay,
Two
okay.
more.
I was not including. I'm saying one more.
I'm gonna say Lingard, and then are we counting loans as signings?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. Just
I'm gonna go 2.
Yeah. Whoa.
To make it 3.
What are you doing? Oh, he's flickering. There we go. All right. Why is he so flicker? There's your Vlasic pickle guy right there.
He's ready to fucking go.
He says it's the best pickle he's ever heard. That was his tagline. That's the best pickle I've ever heard. So
pickles sucks.
You can tell your Croatians that either they can Americanize their pronunciation or they can go back to Russia. That's how I feel. Anyway, all right. What do you think, James? How many do you think we're going to sign?
I think Lingard will get done. I think if it doesn't get done, it's scandalous.
That's the perfect word.
Then
it is. It is.
Then it's one more, in my opinion. I think Lingard will be the only one. I'm honest. I'll be quite shocked if we sign 2. I'll be stunned if we sign 3. I think, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get a loan of a goalkeeper. I don't need a goalkeeper, so we don't need a lone striker or a left back, in my opinion. So between 1 and 2, maybe.
Yeah, what do you think, Charlie boy?
I think we sign 1, loan 2. And hope for another for the next window.
What positions do you think we're going to be bringing in?
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you, we need another left back. We need somebody, an attacking player, striker, attacking in mid. You know, it just depends on the price what we get. We almost need cover everywhere, to be honest.
We do need cover everywhere. Yeah,
I'm gonna guess attacking midfielder and Lingard, and then I know I'm gonna hate myself for predicting this and getting my hopes up, but I really do think that Moyes will hammer something home and we get a lone striker. I can't see.
I think we almost
Why
have
is-
to.
Yeah,
But I
but
don't
just
think- but I
get
don't
ready
think we will.
because
I don't think we
we're gonna loan 2 more goalies. So just get ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have. What if we should have like a? What if we play maybe 2 or 3 keepers? You know what I mean? Like you just play like eight outfield guys and 3 keepers. We could have Randolph, Areola, and
Just do what
Fabianski,
Chelsea
and
did:
then,
run a 9-1 or a 10-1.
Yeah, exactly. Just with like 3 keepers, and that would help us with.
That was a
with our-
masterclass, by the way. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, let me just say right now that I'm sure it won't last, but I'm not going to say that I'm not enjoying what's happening to Arsenal at the moment. I'm sure they'll get another manager in. I'm sure they'll improve. They have a lot of quality in that team, but
The guy at the bodega down at the bottom of the building, right? I walk in, he's a big Arsenal. As soon as I open the door, the bell goes ding. He's like, don't you start your shit. Don't you start. And he's from London, right? He's from London. He came where they have a little shop or whatever. He's like, don't you start. I was like, hey, I said, listen, I want to chop cheese. And I said, give me one of the breads from the top. I don't want that bottom of the league bread stuff either. Make it right. It's great. I love him. Nah, he's good, but I break his balls. He knew as soon as I came through the door.
Have to. Well, you have to when you can, right? I mean, you have to when you can. It's rare that as West Ham fans we get to do that. So,
Yeah.
Whereas Roberto, I think he's in Spain somewhere.
I think he's at Alves with Lucas Perez.
Lucas Perez, who wasn't that bad a player for us actually, but yeah, Alaves. That sounds right. The Basque club, if I'm not mistaken. All right. My wife starts teaching at Boston College tomorrow. My boys start school on Tuesday. It's going to be. We have the transfer window closing. What's today? The 29th. Well, that's a Tuesday, right? So Tuesday night. It's going to be a difficult week, especially with no West Ham to look forward to this weekend. But let me just say this. We've had a huge crowd on tonight, huge, and I appreciate everybody being here. Everybody in the chat room, big chat room tonight, which we really appreciate as well. Most of all, more than anything else, my Sunday night companion these days, James, Proper Cockney in London, East London. Thanks for being on.
No worries, mate.
Check out Charlie Boy's channel, all right? Did you say it doesn't have a name? It's just you, right?
It's just my name.
So
I thought of 100. Me and Fall, I was like, yo, what's I got this, I got that. My brother gives me 8 names. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna say my name.
My name's my name.
My name's my name.
It's him right there.
Listen. You guys know, you've watched him on here. You guys know he knows his football. He's going to be breaking stuff down. All right, check him out. And check out Charlie Walsh's channel, too. We mentioned at the beginning, a top mark. Charlie's a good guy. He's going off into the wrestling thing.
Follow me on Twitter.
Follow James on Twitter. Follow us all on Twitter, right? We're all on Twitter all the time.
I am going to order a cricket bat and try to knock some baseballs with a cricket bat. See how that goes.
I've always wanted to play cricket. I know that's weird, but for many years I've wanted to try it. I wouldn't be good at it because I can't hit, but anyway, I'd still try. And of course, our friend in Annapolis, Lucas, you've been on with us a lot too, Lucas. Good to have you here. Great
Positive vibes for Jay
Lucas,
Lings, baby.
Lucas,
you know
the
what?
legend.
Am I doing it right? I think this is how you do it, right?
Follow him up there.
Yeah, it's you know what? We're gonna give this a try, Fo. We're gonna try 2 hours on Sundays. This is much better for me than what we used to do on Wednesdays. Plus, we're closer to the games, although that won't be necessarily true in Europa League. We're closer to the games, so I remember them better than in the middle of the week when I've forgotten what happened.
Well, in fact, though, Lee, we will be, because every game will be played after a Europa League game will be played on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, that should be fucking fun.
Lee, you gotta if you're gonna do that one, you gotta do this one, all right? You gotta do that one. If you're gonna do that one, you gotta do that. You gotta mix them up.
I don't even know what that one is. I don't even know what that one is. I don't want somebody. I don't want to flash like the wrong gang sign or something. You know, Chelmsford is a very tough neighborhood. You guys know that, right?
That goes with it. There you go, James. That goes with it. There you go.
All right.
He's got the idea. Those all go together. You just did. You just threw up the brims. You didn't even know it. I don't think Jay Lings knows it either. Whoop-dee. There it is.
Yeah, it's
Bloodhound Brim game
Sundays because my boys. Both
That's what that is, Jay Lings. When he does that, that's what nobody knows.
What is it?
That is a hat. That sign they throw. That's a hat for the brims. The brim's a hat. Brim, blood, boom, bang, bing. That's a blood sign. 100%.
Don't sniff your nose like this either.
Yo, I love it how they see rap videos and they just start doing all the signs. I mean, it's like, wow, wow, wow. Like, whoa, hey, watch out. Take it easy.
You gotta be careful with that. Yeah.
I love it.
Even I know that you gotta watch out.
Leads the head of the table. The governor.
I love Sunday. Sunday games are great for me right now because my boys are going to start playing here. They're going to start their football seasons. And by football, I mean soccer. All right, not American football. They're going to start their football seasons Saturday, and their games are going to be on Saturdays. And so every Saturday morning, all day Saturday for me is going to be taken basically. So live games are going to be hard for me on Saturdays, but live games on Sundays, well, no, that's a possibility. So anyway, all right. So the chat room. Oh yeah. Let's not forget, Katie. Thursday night, 8:00 Eastern time. That's 1:00 in London if you're up late. Katie has a West Ham fan on to talk to. Sometimes it's an American fan. Sometimes it's somebody. You never know what it's going to be. But Katie's awesome. She's the best.
Wally said Katie stood him up at Stowe's this weekend. She didn't come down. She didn't go. It was the biggest crowd ever.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we had a DC Iron in Philly this weekend.
Come on, Katie.
Said it was a fantastic time.
I need to get to Philly. That's a drivable match for me. That's a drivable group I could go to.
And I'm a bastard too because I'm always in Philly a lot, like all the time.
We have friends who live outside of Philly. It's about 8 hours.
I need to get to Croatia too, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Well, can't drive to Croatia as far as I know.
Zagreb on the 16th, Lucas.
Listen, when the pub door opens and I'm sliding up in there, shit's going down. That's all I got to tell you. We know what it is.
I never doubted that. I never had any doubt about that. Anyway, so yeah, and also after the game, but that's not until after. All right, forget it. I was gonna say Chris and Irish Tommy after every match, but you know that already. Number one, number two, we don't play for another 2 weeks, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so everybody, appreciate you being on. Listen, if you're in the southeastern part of the U.S., please take care. Okay, be careful.
Yes.
Get out. Go somewhere else because it's going to be a bad one. All right, this hurricane is no joke. So we'll keep you all in our prayers. I got family in Louisiana, of course in Texas as well, but also in Louisiana. So we'll keep you all in our prayers. Anyway, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week to talk transfer window and Southampton. And until then, come on, you Irons.